Hello, and welcome to League of Loggers, Season 3, Episode 1.
Yeah, we're going to a season format now.
Yeah,
We're not going to count up to, episode 120.
Yeah, that got
screw that.
crazy real fast. And since it is a new season, I will be donning a new hat. So we will be retiring this hat. It had a good run. Sorry, guys. I have defected, and I wear a new blue. Yeah!
Season 1 of this show, you were a TSM fan for, just the worlds that we did. And then Season 2 of the show, you were a Echo Fox fan. And now you're a Golden Guardians fan.
Yep, so...
what a bandwagoning piece of shit you are.
Echo Fox did some really poor things that I didn't like.
Yeah,
so.
And we'll get into that deeply. Because really the first thing we should go over is off-season roster changes. Because there were a lot more than I think any of us expected. At least I didn't expect this many roster changes.
Yeah, no, everything just basically went into chaos. Once Worlds ended, and even slightly before, we were starting to see some people swap around. And I was like, okay, this is normal. And then there were more changes, and I was like, this is still normal, right? And then basically every roster has dramatically changed from the end of the last season.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, this isn't even normal anymore. This has just gone beyond that, and everything is insane.
There is only one team who made a single change.
Cloud9?
Cloud9.
Yeah.
Cloud9 is the only team who made less than 2 changes.
Which is ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Honestly, I think we should we'll start at the top, we'll go alphabetically. Let's start with 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves, we knew changes were coming because of the unrest at the end of the season with them. That Kurtis got benched to end this. Oh yeah, get a beer out.
It's not loggers without beer. This is just fucking League of Legends at this point.
No, and
start with a mosaic
hopped cream ale.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, we're gonna need the bottle opener, aren't we?
Get some coosters.
Bottle opener. That drawer closest to you. Nope. The actual kitchen drawer.
That is not the drawer closest to me. There were several.
To be fair, the bottle opener has been in my desk drawer at times. Alright, so Alan's most excited about 100 Thieves changes, so this is perfect that we're getting into those. But at the end of the season, there was the unrest. Kurtis getting benched for Rikara in the playoffs, and then into Worlds. Kurtis didn't play a single Worlds game, and 100 Thieves...
But he got shipped to Korea or China with them.
He went with them to Korea. You're correct. Yeah.
They flew him all the way out there just to basically have a little vacation. Honestly, that was probably the least that they could have done for him, because they let him go play on the Korean servers and play solo queue out there. So of all the really crappy things they could have done, at least they brought him with so he could have boot camp, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he did get some experience out of it for sure. I mean, obviously it was just solo queue. I'm guessing he didn't play with the team at all.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there wasn't any scrims happening.
Right.
I mean, maybe there was some unofficial scrims happening with other teams. I don't know how that all works, so who knows.
Yeah, but Kurtis definitely no longer with 100 Thieves. In fact, he's on Clutch Academy now. He didn't get onto another starting roster, but he is on Clutch Academy. However, we saw more than just that change with 100 Thieves. I mean, the big question with them was, are they going to be able to retain Someday? And they did. They managed to hold on to Someday. I think that was everything they had to do heading into the offseason. That's what I said anyway. I didn't care if they kept Afromu or not, and they managed to keep him as well, though. So you have Someday and Afromu stayed. Anda, who looked really good in the jungle after they got rid of Meteos, he stayed. So you've got those 3. They did lose Ryu, which honestly was one of the things I personally was voting for. I said that Ryu isn't good enough anymore. They needed to find somebody else. And I stick with that. And then, of course, Kurtis went away, and they did not keep Rikara as their starter, which I think was super necessary. The changes there being they brought in Huhi, the now resident mid laner, coming over from CLG. He became a resident late in last split. And they brought in Bang from Korea.
Yep.
That was the big pickup.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I wasn't really expecting him to bail where he was at.
Yeah.
And then to come play for 100 Thieves of all teams. Like, for as much as I was crapping on 100 Thieves towards the end of the last season just because of all of that, basically how they were treating Cody-san, they look pretty formidable this year. I think that they've got a pretty good lineup. We will see in just a few more days how everything kind of works out for them, but nope, I'm definitely interested to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Bang, former world champion with SKT. He was on SKT last split. It is surprising to see him come from SKT to 100 Thieves, a team that was in such flux. But I guess, like, it makes sense. Someday is there, and he can vouch, be like, no, this is going to be a good time. You have another Korean to play with. Just come hang out. Who's also a Korean, but now has a, residency. And so you've got that group. And let's be honest, SKT didn't even make Worlds last year. Like, it's been a while that they've kind of been in flux, and like they still managed to get there and get it done. Like, they made it to Worlds Finals in 2017 and got smoked. But they still made it there. And I think it was just after that happening, and then after not making Worlds at all, a lot of those players were ready to try something new. And
Sure.
Bang was definitely one of those players.
Well, so I wonder how much they paid for Bang, because, I mean...
Quite a bit.
Hooney came in from...
Hooney's been back and forth between EU and...
Sure. But, I mean, he has a Worlds title himself,
yes.
And he came over here, and we know...
Actually, did Hooney win World? Yeah, no, that's right. He was on that team, yeah.
So he's got a Worlds title under his belt. I'm sure that alone made him pretty expensive. But Bang having...
No. Hooney. They have Hoo-Hee.
No, I understand.
Okay.
No. I was just talking about, like, import a Worlds, like, winner.
Right, okay, the cost, yeah.
And so
and I'm sure
I was going to bring
decent.
up how... Was it Drake that, invested a whole bunch of money into 100 Thieves this past year?
Yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves is a brand and whatnot, not necessarily the league team, but yeah.
Well, I thought that, like, Drake was, like, now part owner of 100
Thieves, the brand.
Oh, well, I mean, that's money influx that's going to be scattered around, and I bet...
Right, yeah, how much of it goes into 100 Thieves, I don't know. Like, or into the LCS team, I should say, but...
Hooney doesn't have one? Hooney didn't
Hooney didn't win. He was on the SKT team that lost.
Bummer.
He's been a Worlds finalist twice, possibly.
Alright, never mind then, sorry.
I couldn't remember for sure, but yeah. I mean, Hooney's definitely a Worlds finalist. He's an all-star, both in Korea and elsewhere.
Sure.
But yeah, so Hoo-Hee, I think it's a definite upgrade over Ryu at mid. I'm just not sure how big of an upgrade. Like, that's my thing. Like, Hoo-Hee's alright, but I mean, I don't think he's outstanding. But at the same time, I guess, by having that person who's alright but not outstanding, I hope to God they focus on feeding the shit out of Someday. Because they failed as a strategic team late last season by not funneling into Someday over and over. Like, at least that's my opinion, because he hard carried them into several wins. And then they would be like, you know what we should do? Like, focus mid. It's like, what? Ryu's garbage. What are you doing?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Focus mid.
We should feed Rikara. Oh yeah, because that's going to happen. If you're going to feed him to the enemy team, yes, you will be successful. But I think this team it's much stronger than it was ending last season. I'm not sure how much stronger I think it is than the team that got them to that point, though.
Sure.
Like, Someday, Anda, Ryu, Cody-san, Afromu, compared to swapping out for Hoo-Hee and Bang. On paper, both of those should be upgrades, absolutely. But it has to do with how well do they play together. Like, are Bang and Ryu, or Afromu, going to play well together or not? We don't know. I hope so, and if so, I think they're going to be a great threatening team. Definitely should make a run for playoffs if they live up to any of this potential. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah. What do you think?
I don't have anything else to say about 100 Thieves.
Nothing else about 100 Thieves? Alright, well then let's move down the list to the one team that only made a single change, Cloud9. And the only change being Jensen no longer with Cloud9. He moved on. He went to Team Liquid.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I was like, I recall he went somewhere.
The blockbuster, what the hell happened of the offseason was Jensen going to Team Liquid. Yeah, and it's interesting. Like for me as a Cloud9 fan, that you have all these players who, I think most other orgs would be like, no, you're not going anywhere. We have you under contract, whatever. And every time a player goes to Jack and is just like, hey, I think I want to move on. It's just like, all right, let's get you somewhere. Like, and he finds them a good situation for them, like contracts on Golden Guardians. Most teams would have not let that guy go. They would have TSM'd him and strangled him until he sucked.
Yeah.
And, he's on Golden Guardians, which did not pan out for him last season, but we'll get around. I think there's a chance for that team to be really good this season.
Golden Guardians?
Split. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. That's why, I'm bandwagoning them so much. I don't think they're, ridiculously overpowered. I think that they have a really solid chance this year. They were my number 2 team last year.
We'll get to them.
All right.
But Cloud9, the one change they made, probably the biggest change of the offseason, as Radiant said, huge change. Jensen leaving. They brought in Niski from EU, who was previously on Splice. And, he's a good EU mid laner. You're replacing one good EU mid laner, Jensen, with another one. Now, the question is going to be, can he live up to that? Because I think that's a damn tall order.
I want to see how he plays before I say anything negative about him. Cloud9's always been a fan that I'll cheer on as long as they're not playing anyone else I care about. So,
Depends on the week which teams those are.
Yeah. So, no, I think Cloud9's got a pretty good shot to continue to do what they do. I don't think switching their mid laner is going to affect them negatively all that much. Definitely will probably be some growing pains there since,
right.
They had Jensen for so long, and now...
Yeah.
So...
Jensen had never... until he plays for Team Liquid, Cloud9's still the only team he's ever played for at the pro level, which is crazy. He's been there 3-4 seasons, something like that. It's been a while. So, I think, obviously, Niski, we'll see how he melds into the team, but you do still have Golden Glue to fall back on, and Golden Glue showed he's very competent. He worked well for them. And then the other question, you still have Svenskeren and Blabber. So is Blabber going to be able to mature enough to get some more starts? And I think he'll get some more starts no matter what, as they, try out other comps and, try to mature him more. But Svenskeren had this insane resurgence at the end of last year where he just said, yeah, no, I can be aggressive again. He, shook the TSM off of him and, went after it. And he was really good.
Yeah.
He's a fairly large reason that Cloud9 was the first North American team to ever make it to the semifinals at Worlds. It's ridiculous. They went from sole owners of 10th place, halfway through the split, to semifinals at Worlds. But yeah, I think, though, with Niski in the mid now, if he doesn't meet that Jensen level, which there's nothing wrong with not meeting Jensen levels of play, but if he doesn't, that allows Cloud9 to maybe focus more on carries through Licorice. Because Licorice has shown he can absolutely do it. So, maybe you get, aggressive Blabber and Licorice games where they're just camping the crap out of top or something. So.
Well, so last season we did see a handful of games where Blabber did come in and start playing games. And we're going to be in a similar situation now. But now that they've got 2 mid laners, or they've got 2 mid laners and 2 junglers,
kind of last season, yeah.
They're gonna have. I bet that we actually see play out of Blabber and Golden Glue, some of these other teams where they've got Echo Fox with Lurelu and Solo. I'm not confident that we're gonna see. I think whoever starts is probably gonna be the one we see until they screw up.
Yeah, I think Cloud9's one of the only teams that people will expect to see substitutions out
Exactly.
of. I'm with you on that.
And the fact that they've got 2 of them, because like I said, with Echo Fox, and then we've got on Optic, Dardoch is kind of their substitute right now, and then TF Blade on Team Liquid. It's
right.
I expect that Optic and Team Liquid, that if who they've got starting in Meteos and Impact, if they...
As long as they play well, they're not going
Exactly.
anywhere. Whereas Cloud9, I think we might very well see. Well, Blabber he'll play Hecarim. And so we see him play that. Like, Licorice will play it too. But, or, you know, Golden Glue will play the Malzahar. You know, something like they have different pools and different strategies. Or, you know, kind of like we saw last split where it was Svenskeren and Golden Glue were really good together and Jensen and Blabber worked really good together. So maybe they end up, like, in those pairings too where we'll see the full swaps.
It's very possible. I think with Dardoch being on Optic that there's a very real chance that he might see some play.
Yeah,
but
we'll get there.
But I just want to talk about things.
Yeah, but I think Cloud9's the one I think we most expect to see be interchangeable, I guess. Because everyone else, it's like, well, if they get subbed in, it's because they're not doing well and they're probably done.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that was the point in which I was trying to make.
Yeah.
I mean, I made it originally, and then
And then you veered off of it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, that is exactly right, Dutch. Right now we are talking about all the roster changes. We're just moving on to... team number 3, Clutch Gaming. And Clutch Gaming has almost an entirely new roster.
I'm very confused by how this is going to work.
You know what? Let's do something I know you want to do, and I think it makes
Buy
the most
a
sense.
Clutch
Let's
hat?
talk about Clutch and Echo Fox at the same time.
Okay.
Because that was the chaos that happened. Like, all of a sudden, Clutch and Echo Fox swapped, like, half their rosters with each other. Like...
Well, Echo Fox has an entirely new roster. They don't have one returning
But
player.
how many Clutch players do they have now?
All of them?
They have 3 players who were Clutch last split. And Clutch has 2 players who were Echo Fox last split. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I mean, so the Echo Fox shedding everyone, it's not as surprising to me. Because, I mean, after they cut basically all of their other teams in different games, like...
Fox did that.
Yeah. Yes, that's
right. I
right.
said Clutch.
No, sorry. I was talking about Echo Fox.
Okay.
Like, after they shed all of their other teams, like, how soon was it before it impacted League of Legends as well?
Right. Well, so, okay. Clutch last split ended with Solo, Lyra, Febivin, Apollo, and Hakuho. And I said going into the offseason, I thought, one, they might have a hard time holding on to Febivin, which they did. He went back to Europe. And I thought they needed to change Lyra. Or change everything around him. Because he was really good on Envy the season before, but he was not good at any point on Clutch. And the one person they kept was Lyra. and they didn't keep Febivin. They traded Solo, Apollo, and Hakuho all to Echo Fox. Like, I don't know if they traded or, like, released and they were signed, whatever. And they picked up Huni, which we knew was going to be the biggest, like, one of the biggest contracts out there. Like, he was a free agent. There was no way he was staying with Echo Fox unless they somehow managed to have the money. And you and I both thought that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah. Like I said, they shed all the other teams.
Right.
How long was it before their money situation impacted their league team as
So
well?
they weren't able to hold on Huni. So Clutch apparently decided, you know what, we don't have Febivin anymore. Let's pour that money there. So they got him. They also were able to get DeMonte off Echo Fox, which was crazy to me. Because I thought DeMonte was like the core of Echo Fox going forward. I was so impressed with that kid last split. He wasn't a true rookie, but he was basically a rookie. And I thought he's the up-and-coming NA mid laner is what I said. And now he's on Clutch with Huni still. And they're around Lyra. Well, let's see if Lyra can play like Lyra of old, because that'd be great. And they picked up, these are the ones I'm not sure about. Piglet and Vulcan. Now, Vulcan came up from Academy. We've never seen him before. Piglet's a former world champion. Back from Samsung Galaxy White.
Okay.
Season 4, something like that. Like, long time ago. And he hasn't been great since. In fact, he was a large reason, I'd say the biggest reason, that Team Liquid was in relegations at one point. Like, I don't know that Piglet is good. And Alan's right there too. Mixed feelings. Piglet hasn't looked good in a while.
It was SKT Season 3.
Was he SKT? Because I was pretty sure the Piglet skin was Twitch, which is a Samsung Galaxy skin.
I don't recall.
But yeah, I'll check that. But anyway,
before my time.
Yeah, it is before your time. But anyway, like I don't know. Like Piglet hasn't looked good in a long time. I don't know. It was SKT, yeah, back season 3. Okay, yeah, I was just misremembering it. And I don't know that he's worth investing in still. I feel like what happened was Clutch paid a lot for Hooney, probably played a decent amount for DeMonte. Lyra, I don't know what his contract is anymore. And then the best they could get with the money they had left was Piglet.
Yeah.
I feel like that
it
might
seems
be the
that they're
case.
very top to mid heavy. Like, I would be surprised if Clutch's plan is to carry through the bottom lane. Mm-hmm. I would be very surprised. I mean, hopefully it doesn't really matter because I don't care for Clutch right now.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully that's not the case, and Piglet and Vulcan, they come in and they perform well.
Right.
But until we see them on the main stage playing in the pros, it's kind of a toss-up right now.
Yeah, and we'll see if Piglet can get back to form. And you know what, you guys, you're absolutely right. It was SKT Season 3 he was on. The Twitch I was remembering, that's Imp. And there's the famous thing when Imp beat Piglet to be like, did you see Piglet cry? That's why it's in my head. But yeah, I don't know. Piglet and Vulcan with Clutch Academy last year. So, true, they were probably still under contract, but I guess that's part of what I'm saying is I don't think they had money to go get anybody else. Because personally, if I'm a GM, I'm not when I get a team that's Hooney and DeMonte, I'm not going. You know who we should do? What we should do? Just promote Piglet. I want to bring somebody else to compete for that. But then again, I don't know how many people are left to go after. I mean, we actually didn't see any AD carry movement outside of Apollo going to Echo Fox and then Piglet coming up. I think everybody else stuck, right? Yep. Oh no, and Bang being brought in because Cody Sun's no more. But yeah, so I don't know this Clutch team though: Hooney, Lyra, DeMonte, Piglet, Vulcan. I'm with you that I'm not sure about anything till I see their bottom lane in action. Their top half could be really, really good, depending on Lyra though. Because if Lyra can't support either of those lanes, they're not going to just win outright all the time on their own.
Yeah, I mean, because Dardoch was so good with them. He was always feeding top, he was always feeding mid, and so Hooney was able to get ahead when they were playing well, and DeMonte was able to get ahead when they were playing well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be very interesting.
Yeah. If that bot lane's good, they'll be good. If that bot lane's bad, everybody's just going to punish the shit out of it, and how good you are in the rest of the map won't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what happened to Echo Fox, because they were playing through top and mid only, top mid jungle, and then their bot lane was pretty subpar until they brought in, like, Smoothie, and then even then, like, the damage had been done, and you can't...
Yeah. I've got one quick thing on Clutch, actually. Duck reminded me, before we move on, I mentioned earlier that Cody Sun is on Clutch Academy now. Mm-hmm. So if Piglet doesn't work out, you can always bring up Cody Sun.
Oh, I didn't...
So I didn't think about that. Thank you for reminding me of that. But yeah, like, I think that's actually a decent fallback, because Cody Sun's not bad. Like, there was issues between him and Afromoo, and he might have massive attitude issues. I don't fucking know. But Piglet's also known to have massive attitude issues, so whatever.
Well, I mean, AD carry is supposed to be like the face of the team. They're the one, and when they're not the face of the team, maybe they just like,
When you're sneaky, toxic. You just go do cosplay instead.
Yeah.
Alright, so, and then deep into Echo Fox, who now has a lot of those old Clutch players. They have Lorlo in the top from Golden Guardians, but they also have Solo. I think Lorlo's listed as the starter, but I have no idea, like, for sure which way it's going to go. I think those are pretty even players, Lorlo, Solo. Neither of them were super impressive.
Sure.
They brought Rush back from Korea, which he was a jungler for Cloud9 for a short time.
Before my time.
Yeah. And it was such a short time. It was like a split, maybe a season.
Like I saw all the fanfare about him coming back. We've got Nice Boy or...
Yeah, Nice Boy. Nice Boy Rush.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And so in the bot lane, the other two Clutch players that moved over, Apollo and Hakuho. I can't say Apollo today, apparently. But Apollo and Hakuho, I think they're a good duo, and so it's smart to keep them together. It's crazy that they weren't able to hold on to Hooney, Smoothie. Like, you lost Hooney, you lost DeMonte, you lost Dardoch, you lost Smoothie. Like, they literally lost everyone, including Lost, but nobody cares that they lost. Like, I said the NC, I'm like, the one thing that has to go is Lost. And you have to try and hold on to their shit if you can. And they got rid of Lost, brought a different bot lane, great. And I can see, like, not getting Smoothie and Apollo or whatever. Like, I'm sure still money issues. The one that blows my mind more than anything, though, is Phoenix is their mid laner. Phoenix. Oh, like...
So that is one of the primary reasons why I'm trading hats. I mean, again, the entire roster is completely different from last year. So
except Phoenix, kind of.
So Phoenix got dropped, like, was it less than 2 weeks away from when he would gain his residency?
Oh, I don't remember how far he was out from residency. I know when they did the cuts, though, for Phoenix, who was it before Lost? Who was their AD carry? Shit. But yeah, they cut they cut the AD carry, the support, or AD carry, support, and mid, I think, all. Or maybe it was just two of those, but they cut them immediately before the deadline, so they were just, like, without a team. Phoenix being one of those players.
Yeah, well, okay. No, Phoenix got dropped early, I'm pretty sure.
No, he was one at the deadline. He got benched early. He got dropped immediately beforehand. I'm almost positive.
I thought that the whole thing was he was, like, 2 games away from having residency no longer requiring import.
Both are true.
Okay.
Yes,
and
both of those are true.
So then they dropped him, and so now he doesn't have his residency.
Yep.
And then they came and picked him back up, like, a year later, and now he's still an import slot.
And like, you know what the worst thing is? Like, for them, they shot their own selves in the foot.
Exactly.
Because if he wasn't a slot, they could have, like, imported a top laner instead of grabbing Lorlo and Solo.
It's just like, they just completely piss poor managed the shit out of this.
Alltech, Adrian, and Phoenix were the drop players.
Yeah, Alltech and Adrian. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, man. But, yeah, no, like, I feel bad that, like, Phoenix must have had 0 other offers in NA. Or nothing nearly as good money-wise. Like, this had to be by far the best offer he had somehow. Because otherwise, I don't know. Unless you, like, really liked the org and stuff. Or, okay, actually, I do have a follow-up with this. But, like, I said in the... when I first saw this, I'm like, what the hell? Like, how do you not have the self-respect to not go back to that team?
Exactly. Well,
so,
that was
like,
what I said as soon as, like, I saw the tweet. It was welcome back. It wasn't welcome. It was welcome back. I was like, no self-respect. But to be fair, a paycheck is a paycheck.
Right. So the one thing I have seen fairly recently that makes me somewhat understand this is, and it makes so much more sense with the moves that happened last split, is that this last season, or at least the last split, Rick Fox himself stepped away from being involved in the management of it, letting people who know better do it, and then that shit show happened, and so now he's back in the middle of shit. And so I could see if Rick Fox, like, they're like, well, Phoenix would be one, or whatever, he's like, and Rick Fox, like, personally called him and was like, hey, what happened will not happen again. I'm involved again. And if that's the case, and you had a good relationship with Rick Fox beforehand, which you probably did, I could see going, okay, I like you. You're not gonna fuck off again, right? No, I'm here. Okay, then I'll come back for you. And, like, have something in your contract about it, too. Like, like, if you're released, it has to be signed off by Rick, you know, something like that.
I'd be very surprised if they write that clause in there, but it would be like a nice little safety net or something.
Right, well, it's not hard for Rick to just fucking sign it, so, you know, it would just be like a I give you my word sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I if that's true that Rick stepped away and he came back, I'm really glad that's the case, because that's part of why I liked Echo Fox, because of the way Rick Fox helped run that team. Like, did they hold on to Froggen too long? Yeah, probably. But, like, it wasn't the shit show that apparently the management staff made it into this last year, where they dumped all their money into Hooney and Dardoch, and then ended up having no money to do anything, cut players late.
Well, they funneled all of their money into Hooney. I bet Dardoch wasn't super cheap, but I don't think he was probably as expensive as what we think he was.
Not nearly as much as
But
Hooney.
then Smoothie, they shoved a whole bunch of money.
Well, that's why they had to cut. There's no way you cut Alltech because you wanted Lost instead. You cut Alltech because you needed to afford Smoothie. That's absolutely what that play was.
It's kind of baffling to me then that they would have made more than, like, the minimum
Who? Alltech?
Yeah.
Alltech's been around and been dependable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Alltech, another consistent performer. Absolutely. Alltech and Adrian were very consistent bot lane. Were they all-stars? Fuck no. But were they good? Yeah. They were better than most teams' bot lanes, where it's just like, I don't know what we're going to get. You knew Alltech and Adrian were going to be all right.
Okay.
And so I could see you wanting to get rid of Adrian to get Smoothie, that's definitely an upgrade. But dropping Alltech for Lost was such a massive downgrade. It didn't weigh out.
Oh, yeah, no. I knew that immediately. That was really sad last year.
Yeah, and I think... I know, that blew my mind when they made that move, because obviously what they were trying to do was go, okay, we're going all in, to get to Worlds and whatever, and they didn't lose, they had a spot basically secured, and those moves they made at the end of the season to drop Alltech and Adrian for Lost and Smoothie basically cost them their spot. I think they could have made it over 100 Thieves otherwise. 100 Thieves, you back the fuck into it, but yeah. So, I don't know, thoughts on this Echo Fox roster, though? Lorlo/Solo, Rush, Phoenix, Apollo, and Hakuho.
I give it thumbs down.
Yeah, I think they're a bottom half team with this lineup.
They're going to be this year's Golden Guardians.
That you think they're going to be bottom 2?
I think it's very realistic.
I mean, yeah, they don't have a great top laner. Their jungler, we'll see how he integrates back in with the team. I don't think their mid laner is very good. Their bot lane's probably the best thing they have, and they're middling.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix...
Rush could end up being the best thing they have. But
Phoenix wasn't bad when he played.
He wasn't good, though. He wasn't Ryu bad. He was there with Huhi, I think. And probably a little below Huhi. That's how I feel about Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, when they dropped Phoenix, I was like, okay, well, Phoenix wasn't that bad. And then DeMonte came in. I was like, oh, DeMonte is way better than Phoenix.
DeMonte is very good.
And so...
they lost him.
But...
To clutch!
I'll drink to my fallen brethren from last year's Echo Fox team.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's bump over to another team that made 1.5 changes, we'll call it. Technically, it's 2, but I call it 1.5. CLG. So CLG last season were able to keep Darshan going forward, chose to keep Darshan, which I agreed with personally. They tried out another top laner late last season, and I didn't like him. In week 9, when we were there, they tried somebody else out. Meh.
Yeah.
Reignover is gone, Wiggly taking his place. Wiggly played both games in week 9, and I thought he did very well. And I had been saying that Reignover was kind of washed up for a while, and Reignover and Ryu are the ones to me I'm like, I don't know why they're still on teams. But Reignover is gone. Wiggly got promoted. His week 9, I mean, I said when we were there, we said it when we did loggers from Kev's place. I think Wiggly should stay, and he has. I mean, he was a really good player on Cloud9 Academy, and then they got Blabber, so they shuffled him off. They traded him off to somebody else, to CLG, and now he's getting a starting spot. That's not surprising. He's a good player. I think he'll do well. Huhi, gone from CLG. I think they made an upgrade here.
Oh, absolutely. Oh.
Power of Evil coming in.
I don't know. Power of Evil was okay. I don't think
Power of Evil struggled because he had not a great team around him.
That could be true. Yeah, I think I'll agree with that.
And I'm not saying Darshan and Wiggly are amazing, top half to support you, but they still have Stixay and Biofrost in the bottom, and I think they're good. Are they top 2 bot lane? No. Are they top half? Yeah. I still think Stixay's great. Every now and then you still see Big Dixay come out of his shell, and that kid's good. He can play a mean Caitlyn, or his Kalista will just poop on you out of nowhere. So I think it's an overall improvement for CLG for sure. I just don't know how much of one.
To me, they've always been kind of a middle of the pack team.
Yeah, they were a bubble team playoff, just slightly below the middle. They were on that bubble all last season. So
hopefully this will be enough to push them over. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. The problem is that there's only 10 teams, and when you want a handful of them to win, it's okay, well, I already have 6 teams that I want to win, and then there's 4 teams. I'm like, well, crap, I don't want them to lose. So it gets a little difficult to be
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we had CLG finish the spring split last season in 7th and 8th in the summer split. They were that bubble playoff team every time. Whereas they've got a shot at it, a shot at getting to 6th, and then they never quite made it. They missed it. to be fair, they missed it by a handful of games. There was a big gap between Clutch and CLG in the spring, that 6th and 7th spot. But I believe between 8th and 6th it wasn't so much. Yeah, it was only 3 games difference in the summer, where it was actually 4 games in the spring. So they're there. They're always in that fight until they like go on that streak and lose for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah. Do I think that it's possible that CLG makes the playoffs? It's very possible. Do I expect it? Not terribly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to agree with Duct on this. They're going to be playing through Bot in the Jungle. I mean, I assume maybe he was talking about Echo Fox yet, but I think if he was saying that about CLG, I totally agree, because I think Wiggly playing into mid and top, and bot lane playing for themselves. Because I think if you can get Power of Evil snowballing, he's really good at roaming the map. Like, those are characters he likes. He like takes over his lane and then roams, and I want to see him do that. I think he has so much of a better chance on this team doing that than he did with Optic last year, where the bot lane was never going to do anything for you, and so you ended up with the top half of the map, and their top laner wasn't dominant. He was good, but not dominant, and so you end up with, okay, mid and jungle, carry everyone, and it's just not going to happen. So, CLG, I see them still probably missing playoffs, though. Like, improvement. I'm glad that, like, most of these teams were seeing as, like, hey, this is an upgrade. I mean, we agree that 100 Thieves probably improved. Cloud9, actually probably a slight, like, downgrade. We don't know how good Niski will be, but, like, you can't say they upgraded. But, you know, when you're a top couple team, it's hard.
Yeah.
Clutch, definite improvement. CLG, little improvement. Echo Fox, downgrade. I think that's how we feel so far. All right, well, let's move on to FlyQuest. So FlyQuest, they only had 2 shuffles in the roster, but the first one being Flame from the top lane is now Viper, or it is Viper. I think it's listed as it is Viper.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Viper. I don't know. I have no idea what to think of this kid. Like, he came from the academy team, and I didn't watch their academy stuff.
Yeah, they don't really show that, and I don't have the time anyway. So I saw, I think, one of the teams, they were showing the academy matches, but they weren't there was no commentating on it or anything like that. They're like, we just got this set up, like, here's the stream, but it's just the stream, that's it. You'll get nothing else. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's always weird to see academy people come up as a starting player, like, without them having, like, tested the waters a little bit the previous season.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, we saw a lot of teams, like, stick to their guns late last season, even though it was, like, doomed. It was weird. Like, CLG not making the shifts until the last week, and I know that's part of why Zix is gone now. But, like, I don't know, it just seems so dumb to me that when they were on, like, a 3-week skid, they're not like, you know what we should do? Try Wiggly instead of Rainover, who's been shitting all over himself. Like, and then they tried him out in week 9, and he looked good! It's like, wow!
Yeah.
Like, I get that what Zix was doing, he's like, no, this is the team I want, this is the squad, the roster I wanted, and he wanted to, do or die with it. It's like, I'm sorry, but I feel like that was a mistake.
Yeah, well, I mean, because out of 100 Thieves last year, we had the late replacement in Rikara. We saw Blabber make some plays. I mean, I know that they're not going to be starting now. But Wiggly, on the other hand, he did come in late last split, and he has a starting position now. So it's just very...
When we saw Zazel and Licorice start in their respective splits, they were good immediately.
Yeah.
Like, it happens sometimes.
All right, well, hopefully... Like, I mean, FlyQuest is in their team. I'm like, they're okay. I don't really care one way or the other.
Right. I think Viper, I mean, Flame had his moments of being Flame still, but I feel like overall he was kind of underwhelming. But then again, I think that had a lot to do with that team as a whole. So they replaced Flame with Viper. Santorin is still their jungler. Wild Turtle and JJ still their bot lane. But the big upgrade for FlyQuest is bringing Pobelter in over Keen. And although I think that's up for debate, some people would argue Pobelter is more of a name than he is a great player. Like, he has those moments where he's Pobelter, holy, the notorious POB. And then there's times where Pobelter just, like, loses the game.
Yeah, I feel like...
And I don't feel like Keen was bad, but I see Pobelter as an upgrade.
I mean, coming from Team Liquid has done well historically, and so...
Well, they did well this last year. Historically is not true.
Historically for me, then. My history starts basically at the beginning of the spring split last year.
They did really well all last season.
Okay.
Which, I mean, when you get double lift...
This is why we need Zane. Zane has like the, oh yeah, you're right, you are a moron type thing. It's like, league as I know it, Team Liquid's been solid, so...
Right, no, they were really good all 2017. They won both splits, didn't they? Or, yeah, they won both splits.
I think so, yeah.
So it's like, no, they were very good. Granted, they didn't do great on the international stage either time.
Yeah.
But, like, they're not a bad team. So, but yeah, Pobelter now, their former mid laner, now on FlyQuest. I see that as an upgrade, personally. Now, the question is that team overall. Viper in the top lane, we have no idea. Maybe Viper will be a revelation. He'll be the next Licorice. Where all of a sudden it's like, where did this top laner in NA come from? What the hell? Not expecting it. Santorin, good jungler. He showed some really good stuff last season. That's why we didn't see Meteos come in when he went over to FlyQuest at like the same time, basically.
Yeah.
Wild Turtle's still good, but he still does the Wild Turtle shit where he like flashes forward and gets killed. And JJ's alright, but I don't think JJ is anything special from a support standpoint. So personally, I see this team, while it's an improvement, I think it was really great way to say from a Duck there, is that it's marginally better, whatever, not enough to move the needle. And I see that as them as a team. I think they've improved as a team player-wise, but not enough to move the needle. Not enough to place better than they have. I mean, they placed, FlyQuest was 8th and 6th. And I see them right in that. Like, they made playoffs by the skin of their teeth and got rocked by 100 Thieves, who was not good in the summer split. And I see them as right that too. Like, if they make playoffs, it's only going to be because there's like a gap between 5th and 6th instead of a gap between 6th and 7th, which is what it was last split. So personally, I see the small improvement from me, but I expect nothing out of this team. You're kind of in the same boat, it seems like.
Yeah, FlyQuest doesn't do much for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's move on to Golden Guardians then, the new hat.
Yeah.
So, Golden Guardians, pretty big rework. They were rocking Lorlo, Contracts, Mickey, who fucked off back to Korea at the end of the last season. So, Bob Jin.
Yeah, we saw him play Week 9.
Bob Jin played Week 9, and then Deftly and Matt in the bot lane. And so, I remember commenting going into the offseason that I thought Lorlo was okay. Contracts, I didn't know because I felt like he needed better players around him, and we would see. Mickey was gone. I didn't know if Bobchin was going to be good enough or not. Like, there was all just this, I don't know. But I did say I liked Deftly. Deftly has such great statistics for such a bottom-feeding team that it makes you think there's something more there. At least that's the opinion I had on him. Was like, no, like, Deftly's good. If you put him on another team, maybe he blows the fuck up. Like, he's awesome. Or maybe he's what drags everybody else down, because, like, that's just the level he performs at. So they kept Deftly. They kept Contracts. They got Ole over from Team Liquid, which I think is a good pickup, personally. I think he's a very good support. I think he likes to roam and have influence, and I think that's great for a team that has Contracts who likes to be all over the fucking place and aggressive. Like, if you've got your support and jungler being aggressive, as an opposing jungler or enemy team, like, going through your own jungle, it's not safe. Like, you can't just be in the river because you might get hit by two people. You know, the jungler and support might be there.
Yeah.
They also picked up Froggen in the mid, which I think we should spend quite a bit of time on. And then in the top lane, Hanser, who I'll talk about more when we get to TSM. But I think Hanser's not a bad player. I think he's an upgrade over Lorlo, personally. I think it matters what kind of champions they put Hanser on. Because that was my biggest issue with him on TSM, was they seemed to be letting him play champions he wanted to instead of what he should have been. From my opinion of him as a player. Like, I don't know. The way they should have built those teams, I felt like they were going, Hanser wants to play this, so let's let him. Like, and then he would get shit wrecked on Aatrox.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. Granted, that was the Hecarim counter. It was a whole thing. But I think Hanser needs to not be thinking he's going to be a dominant top laner. But then again, maybe he will on this team. Maybe, like, Contracts is going to feed him all the time. My personal focus on, like, big question mark is Froggen.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's everyone's. Because, I mean, he didn't play last year, correct?
He was not a starter last year.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He might have been on somebody's academy, but I don't even think so. I think he just took last year off.
And, like, I know he was a streamer because I've seen the name, but I didn't ever watch any of his streams.
He's
at least
an
maybe
old
not
all-star EU player.
And so
he was on Origin from April to July of last year. So he was like a sub and never played for, a couple months.
Okay.
In the middle of the season, yeah. So, yeah, Froggen didn't play last year, really. I don't think he played any for Origin anyway. I want to say they started Nuke Duck the whole year.
Yeah, I don't know that I actually saw Froggen play, and since he hasn't played since before, like he said he played EU last year for a little bit.
He didn't actually play; he was just on the roster.
Okay, never mind. Then yeah,
he previously was EU. Like he had glory days in EU before he came and was on Echo Fox for a season or whatever. Yeah.
And again, that's another thing that's before my time.
Yeah,
so I've not seen him
one of the old names. Like he played back in the day with Double Lift and fucking Reginald and shit.
Well, like Dardoch was a blast from the past last year, right? He was not on a team, or he wasn't.
Dardoch has jumped around teams because people keep dumping him. Dardoch's still a fairly new player.
Okay. Never mind then. I don't know shit.
Yeah, it's
Why
okay.
am I here?
But
I'm here to drink.
Froggen basically took a season off. He was great about 3 seasons ago. And 2 seasons... And he's really well known for his pocket pick of Nivea. But yeah, like, he was alright on Echo Fox, but that team, when he was on Echo Fox, didn't really have any other players to support him, because he was like the inaugural Echo Fox roster. So it was... Froggen was like the big name, and then it was just like pieces scattered around him, and so the team wasn't very good. I think it's interesting to bring him in this year. If he can still do it, and especially like maybe taking a season off like helped him like recover, and he's got a good mental state and stuff. I have no idea. Maybe he's just been working on all different champions and shit. Who knows? If he comes in and plays well, this team could be really good.
Well, Righteous said that he believes he's matured from the streams that he's watched. So he's apparently been watching and following Froggen a little bit. So.
Yeah. His Nivea is nasty. That is true.
It will be very interesting to see. I'm going all in on Golden Guardians this year, which means they're guaranteed 10th place. That's just usually how it works for me.
I mean, I think they're a huge upgrade.
No.
Warlow to Hanser, I think that's a definite upgrade. Not like massive, but we'll see how Hanser plays.
Well, Golden Guardians was our joke all of last season. Like they're gonna keep winning.
We did love them though.
Yeah, well, they were the underdogs. Like I legitimately rooted for them, as long as they weren't playing Echo Fox.
But yeah, you're right. Our thing was they're gonna win 1 more game each split, and so if that holds true, they won 4 games in the first split, 5 games in their second split.
No. I'm betting that I think they're very playoff viable.
I agree.
I don't.
This roster's
they're not gonna get number 1. Probably not number 2. Probably not number 3. But I bet they're a 5-6 team right now.
Yeah, I think they're on that bubble. They're right in that kind of 6th slot. I think Ole and Deftly will be fun to watch. I want to see if Deftly can live up to what his stats say he can be. Like, if you give him somebody better than Matt, and Matt made a lot of weird choices a lot of the time. And I think the mid lane also had to do with that, where you weren't getting support out of mid, so people could just pressure the crap out of the bot lane. Same with top. Like, now you have somebody who can stand on his own at top sometimes. Hopefully they rein him into a good spot. Hopefully that means I think it means a lot to if Contracts can play better or not. Because I feel like Deftly and Contracts were both held back by the team around them. Because we've seen Contracts be good on Cloud9, and we've seen Deftly hold good stats even though he was on these bottom-feeding Golden Guardians teams. So if Oli and Deftly can be good, and if Hanser and Froggen can hold their lanes, that allows and if Contracts doesn't feed, if that allows him to actually play well, this team could be scary. Like, I don't expect them to be like a top 3, but I feel like there's an outside chance it happens. Like, it could just be like, oh shit, oh, this is scary. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I'll be pleasantly surprised. They've got good enough players that I think playoffs are very real. I think that them dumping Lurlo and Matt were good choices, and then picking up Hanser and Ale in their in their absence has been great.
Yeah.
Like they're getting big and like people that are good enough to where they're gonna win games. Because it wasn't very fun watching Golden Guardians just get crapped on every single weekend. It was like, oh, Golden Guardians went 0-2 again? Sweet. How many losses are we up to? 11? Shit, that's not great.
Double digits again.
Yeah, so...
yeah.
No, I think that they're here this year. I feel like...
They finished 10th, both splits.
Well, okay,
and
so...
we're thinking they might jump all the way to 6th.
I think 6th is probably the minimum where they land.
Minimum? See, I wouldn't say that, because if Froggen can't do it, and it turns out definitely isn't that great, and Haunter still makes mistakes...
That's why I say minimum.
If all those things happen, they're still like a 9th, 8th place team.
Oh, God. I hope that's not the case.
Because if definitely isn't actually that good, Ole can't carry the lane on his own. If Froggen isn't, like, good anymore, that's going to lose. If Contracts feeds no matter what, that's going to lose. And if Haunter's still just going, I'm going to play this Aatrox and get 1v1'd all day... then they're going to lose everything all the time, and they would just be old Golden Guardians.
I'd really like if you would stop crushing my dreams right now. Like, I've got...
Well, you say 6th place minimum, and I have to.
I think 6th place minimum... okay, you're right.
I think 6th place is the likely thing. I think, like, 5th, 6th is the most likely. I give it, like, 70+% chance that they finish in those two spots. That's where I see them.
That's why I said minimum. I didn't say they were going, like, balls to the wall.
Minimum means can't fall below that, though.
It's impossible.
So you
not gonna hack.
So you think the other 30% is they're above it? It's like, nah. Like, I think 10%, no, probably 20% above it, 10% below that. And there is, like, the 5% chance that they just shit the bed and get last again.
That'd be really disappointing.
It would be. I'd feel so bad for them.
So we've got new Golden Guardians this year. They've got new merch. Like, they've got new jerseys.
That's what it's about.
It basically is. Their jerseys last year were garbage. Like, I wanted to buy a jersey just to support them.
The hat's good now, though. They got the embroidered and the flat bill. The two things were like, hey, your hats are bad. You guys should do this.
Yeah, I tweeted at them. I was like, hey, like, thank you for having merch, but a vinyl on a fucking curved bill hat? Are you kidding me? Like, call me when you get some flat bill embroidered hats. Sure enough, they got them.
And it looks sexy, too.
Yeah, it's great.
That's a great hat.
And their jerseys this year, I posted them in the Yeti Discord. If you have not had a chance to see them, they look pretty solid. I will probably spend money on that as well. Not because I should, but because I want to.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find it here. Hold on. I know there's a way teams can get dropped out of franchising, and you have to finish, like, last or in the bottom two so many times in a row out of, like, I think out of 3 seasons you have to do it, like, 4 times, so, like, 4 out of 6.
Oh, is that built into the rules?
Yeah, no, it's built into the franchising stuff, so that a team can't just be a bottom feeder forever. So, like, if Golden Guardians gets off to a bad start, I will have that rule so we can review it, but I'm hoping they don't. Is having 10th twice puts them in serious danger of that happening. Now, it doesn't automatically kick them out, but it means the other teams would be able to, like, vote them out, kind of thing.
Honestly, it's a little surprising that they didn't purchase more better players last year, because
I think they decided that they were screwed and wanted to wait for the offseason for free agents.
Even prior to last year, because so Golden Guardians are owned by the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
I think that they've probably got some of the deepest pockets of any of these teams. Maybe with the exception of 100 Thieves, now that they've got, like, Drake and, like...
Well, okay, so 100 Thieves is merch money. Cloud9 has built up an esports empire. Clutch is the Houston Rockets basketball team.
Yeah.
CLG... I can't remember who they joined up with. Echo Fox is Rick Fox, so they're probably some of the lightest pockets in the league. FlyQuest is one of the owners of the Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks. I believe that's who it is. Golden Guardians, Golden State Warriors. Optic is an esports, group like Cloud9 has become, but they've been around longer, but mostly first-person shooters. Team Liquid had been around for a long time, no money, but they got Disney sponsorship money. And TSM's been around for a long time, and I think they got money from somewhere else, too.
Yeah, but, just straight-up cash, sitting in a vault somewhere where you can just literally
the most is Liquid with Disney money.
Oh, you think?
Disney money.
Well,
Disney's, like, one of the, like, largest cash companies in the world.
I get that, but how much of that are they going to funnel into?
How much are the Golden Guardians going to throw into an esports team? The Golden State Warriors.
If I could Scrooge McDuck, like, a fucking vault with, like, money in it, like they probably can, like, I would probably throw some money into a team.
Right, which they have. But, I mean, if you have all this money and some little esports team, you're not going to be like, whatever, and throw it all. Like, and if you're talking...
This is why I'm never going to be rich,
amounts,
because, like, I'd be like, I've got millions of dollars. What am I going to do? I'm going to just fucking throw money down the toilet.
Yeah, you would.
And that's what Echo Fox did last year.
I mean, like, even if you're like, like, Golden State Warriors could throw half the money they have, which they wouldn't. If Disney throws 10% of the money they have, that's still more than half of the Golden State Warriors' money. You know? Like, Disney's got a shit ton of money. Thing I miss... is the promotion relegation. Yeah, it was fun. I absolutely agree. But the thing I don't miss about that at all is seeing these players, like, just get kicked out on their ass and never, like, seen again. Because some of them there were some really good players who I think could have still been playing in the NALCS if it wasn't for relegation.
Oh, we just call it the LCS now.
Right, yes.
No, I fucking hated that tongue twister.
The NALCS. It's LCS and the LEC now, yes.
Yeah, so no, we never say NALCS anymore because...
I was saying it just because I was referring to the past.
No, the past stays in the past. Fucking we always call it LCS
I think there's players who could have still been around if it wasn't for relegation back in, like, Season 3 and 4 and such. But you'll never know.
What is relegation?
So it used to be the bottom two teams had to fight for their life to remain in the league against the best two challenger teams. Like, there weren't academies owned by the same teams. I mean, there were some of that, but yeah, it was like the best two from the non-pro league face the top two, or from the semi-pro league face the bottom two from the pro league, and fucking saw if you won and got in or out. Like, that's how Cloud9 made it in, is they crapped on some team who was the bottom of the split before.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know? There's a handful of the teams got up that way, so...
Well, again, so my history so far is these 10 teams have been locked in the entire time.
Yeah, basically you have just over a season of history. Like, because you were around for all of last season and then just Worlds season before, so you don't know, what happened in the LCS.
Anything,
yeah. You just know Worlds. So, okay, moving on from Golden Guardians, we think it's going to be a big improvement for them. We both do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of question marks. It'll be interesting. Optic was another bottom feeder last split. They kept Dokla in the top lane. They lost Acadian as their jungler. And they now have Meteos and, as a sub, Dardoch.
Yeah, I feel a little bad for Dardoch ending up as a substitute that's probably never going to see play.
You think Meteos will be that solid that it's just never going to come around?
I don't know. Honestly, for as much as I like Dardoch, I like Meteos, I think, a little bit more, even though he's never played on a team that I actually care about.
I think he's likable as a person.
Yeah, well...
Whereas Dardoch less so.
And just how he was treated throughout the entire last season was really, disheartening.
Right.
So it's he got boned by basically everyone that was paying him last year.
To be fair, he helped bone himself a little bit.
Yeah.
He's not... absolved the way Alltech is.
Sure, no, agreed.
He was like, "Hey, I kind of want to leave," and they're like, "Okay," and shit happened so fast that his head spun. But it's okay. I mean, I see what happened though. I think 100 Thieves was kind of mismanaged last season, and I don't think there's any or last split. And there's not a whole lot of argument against that. I mean, when you finish this split with Rakara as your fucking AD carry.
Yeah. No, I agree, Alan. I think that Dardoch probably is better than Meteos. However, it's just Meteos getting pooped on all of last season. It makes me want to root for him a little bit more.
So here's the question, and I would assume this is the reason why Dardoch is the sub. Dardoch is still... There's still talk that he is just a bitch to handle.
Really?
There is talk that even on Echo Fox last year, on a team that was top of the table most of the splits, both splits, that if something went wrong in the early game, he would get... He'd just become a pain in the ass. He'd be grumpy and out of it, and blah, blah, blah. It was just his attitude went to hell immediately. And I can see that if that's the way it is, as a manager, as a coach, as a team owner, that you don't fucking want to deal with that.
Yeah, but it's gotta... So, not
like,
really trying to
Meteos is the
defend
opposite,
him
where
being,
he's,
toxic. But when you have, Hooney, shitting the bed most of last year...
He was 50-50, yeah. He either, was great or terrible.
And then, your bot lane being so inconsistent until the very end of the summer split. It's I get it. If everything around you is crumbling and, the all-star that is supposedly better than you can only perform better than you sometimes 50% of the time.
And now here's the thing we can never know. How much of his attitude fed into those problems, though? How much is it, a kill happened up top, and he just oh my god, and didn't want to go top anymore, and so then Hootie fell further and further behind.
That's very possible.
We don't know, and there's no way to know.
Outside perspective, it's really hard.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and there's no way to know that, even if you had the inside perspective. Did that actually cause that to happen? You just don't fucking know. But, as a GM, or, even as a teammate, I don't want to fucking deal with that. The last thing I want is somebody on my team because I have friends in League who are like that, where bot lane's going bad and they get all pissy and whiny and shit. It's just I would rather play with somebody who's not anywhere near as good as you, because they would just shut the fuck up and play.
Yeah.
Maybe,
oh
my god.
Maybe instead of handing him a controller that's not plugged in, hand him a headset that's not plugged in. Or a headset where the mic is broken.
He can only hear himself and everyone else on comms.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, it's when we're playing, somebody will be oh, have I been muted this whole time? We've played a game and a half. It's yeah, we haven't heard you since that gank at Blue Buff. You've done that, I've done that, Jeff's done that. We're all oh shit, I didn't realize I was muted or my mic wasn't working.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always
maybe that's what you need to do with Dardoch. Yeah. There we go. We figured it out. That's why CLG jumped him after the Xmithy trade. Yeah, no, that's why this is his 5th team or some shit? Dardoch's being bounced around constantly because he's been a problem.
Oh, wait, can I just step back for just 1 second?
Do it.
So, Golden Guardians, they released a promotional video, a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
I posted it in the Yeti chat, I posted it in DGA chat, I posted it basically in all the chats that I'm in. Watch it, it's funny. It's just kind of a throwback, old school, movies.
It's old movie, 80s movies.
Yeah, so has nothing to do with 90s? How they're...
Early 90s, maybe.
Late 80s, early 90s, probably, yeah. Go find it, watch it, it's hilarious.
Double APA. Fuck it.
Okay, sorry, that's all that I had to...
I
just wanted to bring it up because it was fun.
With Golden Guardians, and we'll get more specifically to it here in a bit, but Hanser said... playoffs.
Oh, yeah, yep.
He guaranteed, I don't know if he said guaranteed, but he's we're going to be in playoffs. He's calling it. So, Dardoch's pro career. Team Liquid, went back down to Academy, came back to Team Liquid, back down to Academy, back to Liquid, back to Academy, over to Immortals, over to CLG, back to Liquid, over to Echo Fox, over to Optic. So even if you just go team switches, Liquid to Immortals to CLG, back to Liquid to Echo Fox to Optic. 6 teams, one of them twice. So 5 teams, one twice. That's... you don't end up with that career arc if you're not a fucking pain in the ass. Because the kid's good. Yeah. You have to be both good, very good, and a big-ass pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Because otherwise people won't deal with you that long. He's like a Terrell Owens in the NFL, where, he went from the 49ers to the Eagles to the Cowboys because he was a pain in the ass, but he was a Hall of Fame wide receiver. So it was we can do
about
it.
Sports and things, and you lost me.
I do that once an episode, and you always get this stupid look on your face.
I'm sports ball winners, woo!
All right, anyway, we need to finish Optic's roster here. So Meteos, and then possibly Dardoch, we'll see. Dokla in the top lane. Power of Evil gone from the mid lane. They imported Crown.
He's another Worlds winner, right?
World Champion Crown from Samsung Galaxy. Not this past year, obviously the year before.
Yes, I believe I've got his skin.
Yeah, probably. It's, who is it? Zaya, right? Because he was playing as an AD carry at the time? Or was he playing as the mid that time?
Oh.
He's moved around in roles, I think.
Ooh, okay, then
I don't
maybe
remember.
Not. I thought... Maybe you're right. Maybe it is
I don't.
carry.
These guys will know before I do.
Talia. Talia.
No, he's been mid the whole time, so yeah, it was Talia.
Okay, cool. Nope, I've got that.
Yeah,
so
he was on Gen G this last year. He's a good mid laner. So they've got... I think Acadian was a good jungler, so I don't necessarily know if that's an upgrade-downgrade with Meteos, Dardoch, whatever. Power of Evil into Crown, like, once again, Power of Evil was good, so I don't know. And they kept Arrow and Big. I'm not sure what to think of this team.
Basically, they're going to be another one of those they're going to have to carry out of mid-jungle top, because I'm not convinced that Arrow and Big are solid enough to carry themselves.
They're not a carry lane, I agree.
So...
yeah. And like I said, was the issue last year for them, Power of Evil was really good. I thought he was good, but he was trying to carry that whole team. And so you end up where what I wanted them to do going into the offseason was put better players around Power of Evil. And instead, we swap out who I saw as their best two roles, Acadian and Jungler and Power of Evil and Mid, for other good jungle mids, Meteos or Dokla and Crown. Like, I think we're going to run into that issue where Meteos in Crown or Dardoch in Crown can't carry Dokla, Arrow, and Big. Like, I think we're going to see more of the same. I think this team, along with Echo Fox, are most likely to be last.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I see it, is like, they were a completely lateral move in their pickups, and when you were, like, 9th, that, like, why would you want a lateral move?
Yeah, I mean, Crown's a big pickup. It's really weird that Crown would leave where he was at.
They were 9th and 7th.
To come to a team.
That team exploded after they got their crap handed to them in group stage at Worlds.
So he
was on
right?
Gen G, yeah. They came in as the number 1 seed from Korea and just...
Yeah.
Or were they number 1, number 2?
Regardless, it doesn't matter. They were a good team, and they were the all-star team, right? They were basically...
They were the team who had won Worlds the year before, basically.
Yeah.
They just changed names.
Yep.
They were defending Worlds champs and got rocked in group stage. They got last in that group.
Can I pour out beer into my mouth for a moment of silence that we didn't get dinosaur skins?
Oh, if only. What was something Rex? What were they? G-Rex? G-Rex.
G-Rex, yeah.
G-Rex.
So Gen G reminded me of G-Rex.
Exactly. So. G-Rex fucking pink dino skins would have been the best.
Sad day. But back to Optic. Do we have much else to say? Like,
I think they're a lateral move, and I think a lateral move when you finish 9th and 7th is not... It's not good. And I see why they got a lateral move, because Power of Evil wanted to leave them, and so they had to fill that void, and by filling that void, you're just not going to be able to move forward very much. I think they filled that void. I don't know necessarily why they weren't able to hold on to Acadian, and then, instead replace, like, Dokla or Arrow or Big. I think they would be better off if they had been able to hold on to Acadian, replace Power of Evil because he wasn't going to stay, and then replace top, bot, or support. Like, I think they end up going up, but no, I don't think...
Which is really disappointing because Meteos finally landed a starting position, whether or not it's actually starting or not. Like, it's on a not very good team.
I mean, he started for the first split of 100 Thieves, so...
Did he? I don't think he finished the season though. Like
he was spring split. He was their starter. Beginning of summer, he was their starter until he said, "I think I might want to go elsewhere because I feel like I'm training my replacement." And then he went from being a starter to nothing.
That all really happened in the summer split.
Yeah,
okay.
That summer split that they traded him out. They got
I thought it was in the spring split. Never mind.
Nope, that was summer.
Ugh, I'm so salty for so little time.
It was like 4 weeks in or something. Like it was before the halfway mark.
The level of saltiness that I had does not reflect the time in which it mattered. Doesn't matter.
And we'll be on Acadian here shortly, but he is currently a member of TSM. He's not. I knew he was somewhere. So he's the sub, quote unquote, for TSM's jungle. Which maybe that was a move he wanted to make too, where he was like, I don't feel like this team's any good. Let me go somewhere where if I get a chance to start, I think we can be good. So, all right, let's move on to Team Liquid. Defending 2-time NA champs, 2 splits. They kept Impact in the top lane. They also secured a TF Blade, TF short for The First, not Twisted Fate. TF Blade, who is a top solo queue player in NA. Like, holds 1 and 2 very often.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm
he,
not super familiar with him.
No. I mean, he's just a solo queue player. He's never been on an academy team, anything.
Duck says he sees Acadian starting for TSM over Grig. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Unless that's a recent mention, it wasn't, but it could be. I'll look that up here as we go. So Impact still starting. TF Blade as a sub. Xmithy still in the jungle for TSM. He's been great. Pole Belter's gone. They got the pickup of Jensen, though, coming over from Cloud9, which is, wow.
I think that's a pretty solid pickup. And then Core JJ down in the bottom lane.
Right. So Double Lift staying, best AD carry in NA. And then Ole gone, Core JJ coming back from Korea.
I'm pretty sure I've got his SSG skin as well.
Yes.
His Recon, right?
He was
yeah.
No, he was the AD carry in that one.
Oh, he was the Xayah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Or no, you're right. He was the Recon there. He was an AD carry when he was in an NA previously. That's what it was.
Okay.
He was AD carry for Dignitas, and then he went back to Korea, played a support on that team, and they won. And then now he's back here as a support still, which that was something I was glad to see, is that he didn't come back and be an AD carry somewhere. So, but yeah, I think that team. Ole, I think, is really good. So Core JJ, maybe that's lateral, maybe it's an improvement, I don't know. But Pole Belter into Jensen, I think that's just an upgrade. Yep. Like, Pole Belter has great highs, but while he maybe has those highs 70% of the time, Jensen has them 90. Like, I think Jensen's a better version of Pole Belter. Like, because it's Jensen Bjergsen. And then Pole Belter's like that next tier that's definitely separated from them, where it's like Pole Belter and probably Demonte now.
Sure.
But yeah, I think the best team in the league just got better.
Yeah, everyone so they're super stacked right now. It will be absurd if they do not take first and or second place. I say and because they're somehow going to take both spots.
Yeah. TSM roster on the LoL Esports website is showing Grig as the jungle starter. I'll look the other places still too. But yeah, I if they're not a top 3 team, I'm just going to be shocked.
Everyone posted their starting lineup on Twitter at some point in the last 2 weeks, so might be worth looking into.
Unless the website's way behind. I mean, which is possible. I feel like they update that thing crappy. LoL Esports or Leaguepedia has Acadian starting. You're right there. So I would guess that's more accurate.
Does it say when the last time it was edited?
No. Well, I could look, but I'm not going to. They would have not moved Acadian to the starting spot, though, as the new player on the team unless it was announced. So I don't need to look up when it was edited. But yeah, so okay, wow. That's weird. I kind of have issue with that. Not that Acadian's not good, but we'll discuss that here. So Team Liquid, I think they improvement, which is ridiculous considering they were first 2 splits in a row. Like, granted, they won.
You say TL or TSM?
TL. Liquid.
Yeah.
Because we haven't moved on from TSM yet.
Sorry.
But yeah, so I told you. I know exactly what it says on the websites I looked.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on TSM's website.
Yeah,
even.
TSM's website says Grig is starting.
I don't fucking know what's going on then. That's weird. Anyway, so maybe it's a coin toss. They don't know who's going to actually start the first game yet. Because I don't think it has to be announced until 72 hours beforehand or something. So
Wednesday we'll have to know for sure?
We wouldn't know until Thursday morning or something if it's 72 hours.
So it's Saturday. Yeah. Gotcha.
Because they would announce it internally, but there's probably NDA on it or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, with Impact, Smithy, Jensen, Double Lift, Core JJ, it's really hard to think that team's not gonna be top.
They've basically bought themselves the number 1 spot.
They are the Golden Guardians. I'm sorry, they are the Golden State Warriors of LCS. Whereas, you guys have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. You don't understand any of this. That's okay. You know what you should do? Also get Kevin Durant.
Can you bring it back to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen?
You know what you should do
and,
now that
Dennis
you have
Rodman. If you can put it in those terms, I'm with you.
No, now that you have you have Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, fucking shit, Draymond Green, Iguodala, like, now that you have all those players, you know what you should do? You should also get fucking Boogie Cousins, because that was necessary.
So we've got Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Troy Aikman's playing basketball now.
I would have used those teams,
Emmett
except
Smith.
they literally only ever brought in, like, a player. They already had everyone to begin with. Whereas Team Liquid last year...
You said 12 names, and I knew none of them other than, like, Steph Curry.
There you go. Kevin Durant.
Okay, I know Kevin Durant.
Yeah. They're your come on, study up on your team's parent org.
No, basketball's boring.
But yeah, like, they just, like, have brought in these players, because, like, Liquid went from being garbage to going... I'm sorry, TSM, you don't want to double lift anymore? Thank you.
What about Larry Bird? Can he be in here too? Get with Will to still?
What about Detlef
Magic?
Shrimp?
Well, Detlef is not very good. I love him because he's from Pawnee, fake town. But
yeah, no, like, this team went from already having Impact from Cloud9, Xmithy from CLG, Double Lift from fucking TSM, and now they added Jensen from Cloud9 as well, and Core JJ from fucking Samsung Galaxy. Like, NBD guys. It's a fucking all-star team. It's gross.
yeah, I mean they've got definite worlds contention just by looking at their roster. If
they're not in the finals at the end of the split, I'll be confused.
Exactly. That was what I was going to say. I was like, if they somehow do not win everything going forward, I just don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. So we'll see what happens there. And then the final team to talk about roster changes. TSM, Hanser no longer there. They brought in Broken Blade, which I don't know Broken Blade. He's an import.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
I looked him up at one point and I already forgot. Broken Blade.
He was so memorable. I lost track of him 3 seconds later.
He's some random region.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a picture.
Germany. Yeah.
He's Deutsch.
He's Deutsch. I mean, TSM's full of a bunch of Deutsches. Get it? It's like douche, but not. No, so Broken Blade, a new import coming in from Germany. So he was an EU solo queue, climbing the ladder, whatnot. Grig is still there, but they also have Acadian now, which I think, give or take on that, we'll see what happens. Bjergsen's still there, great. Sven's still there, but Mithy went back to Europe, and TSM brought on Smoothie.
That was honestly a pretty solid pickup.
Yeah, not that Mithy was bad, but like Sven and Mithy and NA, I think the European bot lane style did not hold up either in North America or didn't hold up on TSM. One of the two, because that bot lane never really gained traction, it felt like.
I don't know where the TCL is, but that's
Turkish.
Oh.
So like Supermassive, where that came from. Yeah. But yeah, TSM doing the same thing. Broken Blade only plays carry chip. Yeah, and see, that's my worry here, even with the Acadian pickup, is I said, as much as I'm not a TSM fan, I said it over and over that they kept screwing themselves. They were like, oh, let's let Hanser play a carry up top. No, let's not. Because let's put Bjergsen on, like, tanky mids. Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's make Grig play Sejuani. Let's not. Because the moment, like, I fucking bitched about for like 3 weeks in a row, had the stats, predicted it, and then it came true. All the shit where I'm like, let him play Gragas. He shits on people with Gragas and like other like aggressive junglers. And like they would crush on that, and then they would play Sejuani and like get their shit kicked in. And then the same thing would happen with Hanser. Like, hey, if Hanser's on Ornn, you guys do pretty well. We should let him play Aatrox. We should definitely do that. Like, they just don't seem to understand what players they have. And I'm worried with Acadian that they're going to do the same thing they've done to all of their fucking junglers and make him play Sejuani. It's like, if you guys want a tank jungler, go out and get one. I know you can't go and get Xmithy because there's no way in hell Liquid's letting him go. But I'm sure those guys are out there in the ladder and in, the academy teams. You could go get them. But you keep, like, grabbing these aggressive junglers and thinking you're going to turn them into a tank warding jungler. And that's just not how it works.
You get to play Trundle on repeat. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, at least Trundle can invade.
That's true.
It'd be like telling you that you're not going to play Warwick anymore.
Oh, that's not happening.
No, you're not going to play Warwick. We're not going to let you play Xin Shao. Like, none of that. You're going to play Nautilus jungle?
Okay, well that seems terrible.
It would be.
Did you see my post the other day? I was like talking about the LEC. I was like, what the F is happening?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Well, it's because Perks is a bot laner now.
Yeah, no, just that comp in general.
Oh, and they played Kurtis again day 2.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. So we have
carry junglers are the meta right now. Yeah, it doesn't matter when they're meta. TSM just has their head so far up their ass they don't understand that the jungler can carry. It's maybe they'll finally do it, but I have no faith in TSM as an organization. Although they did get Zix from CLG, they brought in Zix as their coach, and if they let Zix fucking make the right decisions with this team, and Reginald doesn't get his ass up in there and go, why is your jungler not playing Sejuani? Like, I don't know how the fuck they always end up in this rut where they do the same shit. So but if they let Zix do smart shit, they'll be good. One notable
thing we've been lacking here is the coaches, because we had a ton of coaches change as well.
Yeah.
We had the Echo Fox coach go to Golden Guardians, actually.
Yep.
So.
And we had CLG's coach go to TSM.
Yeah.
And there were a few other changes, but like, I think in the long run of things, we haven't identified that many coaches who are like super good and matter that much. Sure. We'll see. I think with those 2 changes though, we'll have a good test case to see if they matter. Because like everybody knows Reaper matters for CLG.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Coma matters for SKT. Like it's seen if that carries over with some more of these NA coaches. And I think if TSM like plays their roster correctly, like they pick smart things for who they have as players, I think that'll prove Zix is a really good coach. And TSM was just widely mismanaged over this past year. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think of that roster overall? Hansard being traded out for Broken Blade, Grig and Acadian being there now, and then Smoothie being traded in for Mithy.
Well, TSM was like the first team that I knew about and the first team that I actually paid attention to, like when I did start coming to play League of Legends. Right. And so, like, I don't know. I think that they've got a pretty solid core here still. Like with Sven and Bjergsen. Right?
Sorry, I thought I said Reaper matters a lot for Cloud9. Maybe I said CLG by accident. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Losing Hansard is probably not as detrimental to them as it would be to Golden Guardians.
I mean, the way they played him, it didn't matter, I feel
exactly. Like. Well, TSM is like great at neutering their players. So...
Not necessarily neutering, playing them wrong, because I think Hansard was better when he was neutered.
Oh, you think?
Like, when he was playing a tank, they as a team were better. But he wanted to play carries. And he was good on carries a year and a half ago. But, like, this summer... Like, they lost in the playoffs handily because he thought, well, Aatrox is overpowered. Let me pick it up. It's like, do you not realize they're letting you have it?
So they reverse neutered Hansard. They neutered, so they neutered then unneutered him.
They took Grig's balls off and then sewed them onto Hansard, and he's like, I got 4 nuts, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's probably what happened, so...
He's over-encumbered by knowledge.
That's why we're an adult-oriented show.
I thought it was because I showed my boobies.
Oh yeah, that too. No, I think that TSM has a fairly decent chance. They're going to finish top 4. I imagine.
TSM top 4.
I don't think they're going to take the number 1 or 2 spot, but I don't see them falling that far behind.
I don't think they... When you say falling behind, that implies that they were good last year. I mean...
Where did they finish?
They finished 3rd and then 5th.
Okay, so top 4. 4th, solid average there.
I think they were lucky to get 5th, honestly. But they were like that... You know, they were lucky to get 3rd, I thought. But anyway, well, so we've gone through all the teams. So you see them as a small improvement then, or?
I honestly don't know. I mean, picking up Smoothie is a pretty solid like addition there.
I think that's good for them. Absolutely.
And then like I said, I don't know Broken Blade at all, so I can't say if that's good or not.
All right. Well, so let's do a rundown here. Let's actually rank out the teams. What is our way too early prediction of where these fuckers are going to finish?
I'm going to steal Duct Taped, where he says TL in first, 7 teams making 2 through 8, and then FlyQuest Optic.
We're going to have to get more specific. I TL number 1. That I feel like that's not hard.
Agreed, yeah.
TL number 1 is not hard, and I feel like saying Echo Fox last isn't hard. For me, I'm going Echo Fox 10, TL 1.
I already did the ceremonial switching of the hats, so...
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
It means they're not my guys anymore. Yeah. They're dead to me.
Do you need this to write down?
Maybe. I don't know. Like
I've got TL1. Do you have TL1?
I do have TM1 or TL1.
Do you have somebody else's like an obvious slot for you, or should we just start working our way down?
No, I'm like that's like all of these changes. Like they're so crazy.
Well, all right.
Because like I think Clutch went from being like really piss poor last year to they actually could be somewhat decent. Like definitely not saying like number 2 contention, but like like they're not gonna finish last. I'd be surprised.
I feel like despite losing Jensen for Niski, Cloud9's my number 2 right now.
I think that's pretty safe to say.
I think they carry over a lot of really good players in their...
Allen with the 100 Thieves 1, Team Liquid 2nd.
100 Thieves number 1.
Oh, honey. I think you are...
I have a hard time saying that with Huhi in the mid. Like, I think they're a high team, but number 1?
I was honestly going to place them at like 4 or 5.
Ooh, I don't know if I'm going to go that low. Do you have a number? Are you going with Cloud number 2?
Yeah, I think I'll stick with Cloud9 for 2 as well.
Okay, well then that brings us down to number 3. Man. No.
Yeah, it's easier to tell you who's not going to get third place.
I think I would go 100 Thieves number 3.
Yeah, that's kind of where
I'm going to go 100 Thieves 3 and Clutch 4.
I think I'm going to swap those around. I'm going to do Clutch 3, 100 Thieves 4.
Okay. And then I think that leads me to...
Golden Guardians being number 5, because that's where I'm putting them.
Golden Guardians or CLG, possibly. I think I'm going to... Because I was tempted to put CLG number 4. I'm going to go CLG 5.
Underestimating Bang and Someday.
Golden Guardians 6. That's right.
It's not that we're underestimating. You're right, we're underestimating.
No. I think Bang and Someday are very good. I think he's kind of questionable. He's not Ryu, but he's not, fucking Jensen or Bjergsen. So he's all right. I think Anda showed up pretty well last season. And I also, honestly, I have a little bit of questions about Afromu and how he deals with teams. Because there's been a lot of people leaving that team recently, due to attitude and disagreements and whatnot. And I've started to wonder how much of that is Afromu. Because that goes back to Double Lift leaving CLG because he and Afromu couldn't get along.
All right, I'm going to change some of the things that I've said here.
Okay.
100 Thieves is no longer 4. I think they are 6.
Wow, dropped him 2 slots.
I think I'm going to put TSM in my number 4 spot.
Okay. Oh, God, yeah, no, I feel like I'm sleeping on them kind of hard right now, too. Shit.
It's like, TSM isn't... All right, so right now I've got Team Liquid 1, Cloud9 2.
Same.
And I kind of want to drop Cloud9 to like 3, but that's not important. Clutch 3, TSM 4, Golden Guardians 5, 100 Thieves 6.
I'm going to go 1 Liquid, 2 Cloud9, 300 Thieves. I'm not wavering on that. 4 CLG. Or, I'm sorry, Clutch. 4 Clutch. I am going to bump into... Because I have faith in Zix. TSM 5, CLG 6. CLG 6. Bumping Golden Guardians out of playoff to 7.
I'm not liking what you're doing.
I know. And then I'm going to go... Oh, God. 8 FlyQuest, 9 Optic, 10 Echo Fox.
Alright, so that leaves me with...
I feel like that bottom's hard to decide, aside from Echo Fox. I think they're going to be fucking hot garbage somehow. Just because that organization was a mess. It'll take a little while to recover. And I also think the same about Optic. They made lateral moves as a bad team, and I don't know what to think about that.
So... I kind of want to give my 7th place slot to Fox just because reasons.
Because you feel bad about abandoning them?
I really do.
That's such a great reason to keep them at 7. Duck agrees. He's got them at 7th.
Yeah, I looked at that and I was like, shit. I don't know that I don't know that I can drop them any lower than that. I mean, I probably could give them a 10 pretty easily at this point. I'm thoroughly unimpressed with what they've done. That being said, I think I'm gonna do CLG. No, fucking A. These are hard.
It's not like it matters.
Okay.
We'll pull these out at the end of the season, or end of the split. It's just like wow, look how close or how far off we were.
Okay, Optic 8, CLG 9, FlyQuest 10.
All right.
It's not great, but I'll take it.
Okay, so we've gone over that. Let's see if there's any fun in the comment here. You got 100 Thieves 1 in TL2, which we talked about. Who he knows how to run. You've got all that faith in 100 Thieves. It could happen. We'll see. Like I said before, 2nd through 8th could be anyone because it's close.
It is. It's more close this split.
It's close, but it's not 2nd through 8th close. You can't tell me, like, Cloud9 100 Thieves are the same as, like, CLG TSM.
I don't think it is, but, like, we ran into the issue last year where, like, there was, like, one game separating. We didn't know
any of these teams, and then they fucking giant shuffled again on us.
Yeah. Well,
Fuckers.
so I mean, last year, like, before you interrupted me, all of the teams, like, they were with, like, okay, so spring split was a little bit different. Like, there were bigger gaps, but I'm pretty sure summer split is where, like, it was like one game between every team, right? Like
in spring split.
No, for the summer split.
No, because Cloud9 was a fucking crater.
Okay, well then maybe it was spring split then, because like everyone was like within a game of each other, and then like towards the end,
I think mid-season it was pretty close in spring split. I think in summer split it was like awful.
Okay, maybe.
Then again, it might have been in the middle that it got close. I don't know. Like
last year was a long time ago. I've drank a lot of beer since then.
Drank a lot of beer.
Oh, so much weed.
All right, so is there any more fun comments? Because otherwise, let's get into predictions.
I thought that's what this was. This is my predictions.
No. Match predictions. Which, granted, our official predictions are now until Thursday, Friday. Like, I'll tweet them out as we did last split. But we do our earlier predictions just for fun, especially because this is like a little bit of a shorter show. So they're going to kick everything off with the rematch of the finals. TL Cloud9.
I'm going to say TL. Yeah, was that day 1? Yeah,
it is first match.
Oh, oof.
First match is a rematch of the finals. Just kind of, the NFL does the same thing like Super Bowl, whatever. Yeah. I think TL too, and it's interesting though because so in interviews, Travis Gafford was doing a bunch of interviews, and it was actually really funny. He did one with Jensen, and he's like, oh, Cloud9 brought in new mid laner because he left. What do you think of him? And he goes, I think he's pretty good. I'm not sure he's gonna be as good as their old mid laner though. But anyway, there's questions like with TL and like I don't know if it was Jensen or Double was just like no, we're the best team. Like it's everybody else just fighting to be as good as us. And then Cloud9 in an interview with Sven Skaren, he's like, no, we're really good so Cloud9 did semifinals at Worlds, right? Did really well. Took a month off. Immediately went back to Korea and boot camped for a month. So they've only kind of had an off season, and so they've been playing in Korea for the last like month and a half, and then have come back recently. They're scrimming and stuff, and he acted like they're shitting on everybody too. So it'll be interesting to see if like the team who I think decidedly has like the better roster can match up against the team that's like more warmed up. So it'll be interesting. But maybe they're burnt out too. Like,
sure. Alan made a comment, and I was actually going to use that to go to my point that I was going to say. Alan says, so Cloud9 might actually win because the underdog always wins, right? And so
last season.
So what I was going to say is that I think that Cloud9 wins a best of 3, but I think TL wins a best of 1. Is kind of where I'm at, yeah.
I would lean the other way, where I think like Cloud9 might pull off 1, but like the quality of the players on TL would win at a 3.
You think?
I don't know.
That's honestly where I land on that. I think that if it were a best of 3, Cloud9 would win, but it's just best of 1. I bet Team Liquid takes it.
I fully agree with the sentiment that you might see the opposite winner. You might see a different winner in the best of 3 as opposed to a best of 1 between those teams right now. Like, yeah, cause I think it's funny because like we both ranked them 1-2, and so we think they're very close. Alan ranked them 2-3, I believe, because he had 100 Thieves first. So my guess is that he had Cloud9 as 3. Yeah, that is an interesting thought because like I mean my gut just says no, Team Liquid will win, but if Cloud9 starts the season with that win, that's a nice way to get started.
Well, so I mean, to be fair, it honestly does kind of. It matters if TF Blade starts over Impact because
he won't.
I don't think he will, but I think
he won't.
Okay. I was just gonna say, like, I mean, because there were 2 with a potential 3rd like roster swap happening, whereas Cloud9 is mostly still the team from last year.
That is a reason he won't start. Like he won't start partly because they're not going to do 3 roster swaps to start.
Sure.
But also because he's not played on a pro team before, so that kid's still getting used to how like professional shot calling and matches work. So he's just his scrims are his first experience of this is how a pro team plays because it's not solo queue.
Well, yeah, I mean we've said from day one that the pro scene is a different game than what everyone else plays.
Oh yeah. Like, even if you're like a challenger, it's different.
Really? Even at Challenger level, you think it's different between Challenger Pro?
Well, I mean, it's the difference between a pickup game between, like, college all-stars and, you know, an NBA team. Is like, hey, there's structure here. There's not here, you know? Or even if you talk, like, McDonald's All-Americans, which are just, like, all-stars, and then the college team that they are on the next year. It's totally different because there's structure, there's dynamic, there's coaching involved. Like, when you're at the top of solo queue, it's because you're just fucking good.
Yeah.
It's not because you're sitting down every day and somebody's going, okay, this is what you're doing wrong. You're telling yourself that shit. You don't have somebody from the outside who's go, no, I fucking know this shit and I have stats to back it up. Do this. You know.
Maybe. Honestly, I don't know that I fully agree with that. I bet that once you get to that high level, you do have people review. I bet that a lot of the people that are like top challenger, like you encounter the same people a lot.
Yeah, you do.
And potentially you encounter a lot of pros because they all have their solo accounts as well.
No, they absolutely
do.
Yeah.
It wouldn't...
That's how these players get known. Like, a lot of times it's the pros will be like, hey, you guys should check out this player. I see him a lot and I think he's really good.
So I don't think it's totally absurd to say that potentially like those people, pros, are critiquing them as well. So maybe not to the same coaching level.
It's different than coaching.
Yeah.
And it's different than a team environment. It's just different. They're also not on headset with all 4 of their other players every game. They don't know the tendencies of, you know, all the players, like, down to a T. Like, even if you play with them all the time, like, it's not the same as, no, I play with you every day, like, 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? It's like, in a NFL or NBA game, like, you can throw the no-look pass because you fucking know that guy's going to be there and he's going to be open.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't do it with a random pickup game, you know, or at least not with the same level of success. So, but yeah, so we both have Team Liquid, 100 Thieves TSM. I'm gonna go 100 Thieves on that one.
I was gonna go TSM on that one.
Yeah, I think everything's gonna be a toss-up, and like we'll tweet out our actual picks, but CLG Optic. Like, let me look at my rankings again.
So I'm nominating this one as our Bubble Wrap Midget Fight for the week.
Oh my god, Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling matches. I forgot about those.
I think that's going to get my nomination for this week. And I think I'll pick my underdog in this one, and I'll say that CLG takes it.
Alright, for those of you who were not around during the regular season last year, the BMWM, the Bubble Wrapped Midget Wrestling match, is... The opposite of the Clash of the Titans. Like, where we have Cloud9 and Team Liquid, 2 of the best in the league. Like, that's the match to watch. The opposite is, God, this is going to be a shit show. But it's going to be an entertaining shit show. And that's CLG Optic this week. I agree. I have CLG
Alan
as well.
says CLG underdog? Like, I mean, I've ranked them so low.
What do you have those 2 teams ranked? Do you have CLG 9th?
Yeah, I've got CLG 9th and Optic 8.
I've got Optic 9, CLG 6.
I
think CLG, like, with Wiggly and Power of Evil, I think they're going to be a decent team.
Honestly, I don't know how much I hope I'm wrong on this because it's difficult.
Yeah. So I have CLG winning that as the favorite.
CLG being the underdog just in the fact that I've got Optic ranked over CLG and like my mythological.
I can understand seeing CLG is just such a disappointment carrying over from last season that you can't see them as being the favorite anymore. So FlyQuest Golden Guardians. I know
Golden Guardians all the way. And plus, and
I'm gonna pick them too.
I've got FlyQuest at 10, so
Clutch and Fox.
Clutch, hands down.
All right, so you and I are just differing on 100 Thieves TSM so far. Then in day 2, Optic versus FlyQuest.
Optic into FlyQuest. I'm gonna say Optic.
I'm gonna go FlyQuest on that one. I see Optic as my number 9. Cloud9 100 Thieves. Now they're interesting. Cloud9 has a great set to watch.
I'm gonna say Cloud9.
You're going to say Cloud9 on this one. I'm going to as well. Cloud9, they could go 0-2 this week without having a bad week.
Oh, speaking of, so all of the first seeds of every other region, and by every other region, like the last 3 that have played, the number 1 seed went 0-2. So
right, Fnatic went 0-2. You're saying whoever finished first last season. So Fnatic 102, is Gen G still around then?
I don't recall. Like there was a Reddit post about it.
Yeah.
They said that if
TL would go 0-2 in this scenario.
So Team Liquid could potentially be the 4th number 1 seed to go 0-2.
Right, and we said TL could lose to Cloud9 possibly. However, TL faces CLG next.
Unlikely. That's like fucking slam dunk.
It's
like fucking pro basketball players playing toddlers.
Yeah.
Is what I'm.
I think this one's gonna be a stomp.
Yeah.
Not. Oh man. Wait. GG over Echo Fox. Oh, we haven't gotten that far yet, but yeah. Clutch TSM.
Clutch
that one's
TSM.
Interesting. I have them ranked 4 and 5.
I've got them ranked 3 and 4. I'm gonna go with Clutch on that one. I'm gonna follow Hooney and DeMonte. I bet Clutch is gonna be my number 2 team this year.
Oh man, this is hard. I think DeMonte, while he can go up against Bjergsen, I don't think he's as good as him. Piglet, Vulcan versus Ven Smoothie, I think is the tipping point for me there. I think TSM's just better in that region.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I don't trust Leary yet, whereas I think Grig is decent, although Hooney's better than Broken Blade. I'm going to say TSM on matchups.
That's fair.
You're going Clutch, though?
I'm going Clutch.
I almost convinced you to do otherwise.
You did, yeah. I was like, wait a second, you make a very compelling argument.
When I look at, like, blue lanes, actually, yeah. I do pretty well. When I'm like, I'm going based on the matchups, I'm like 80%. Fox versus Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians, hands down.
Yeah, we both got that. Fox is, oh my god. They just look like such a dumpster fire. Yeah. So I guess we differ on three out of the 10. Currently. We'll see if that changes at all.
I'm locking those in. I'm not changing anything. I'm too lazy to do that.
Let's see. They asked what we think of SKT's roster.
Who's SKT? This is a joke, because they weren't a real team last year.
They weren't a Worlds team.
No, they weren't a real team last year.
All right, let's pull up SKT's roster.
I'm surprised that Faker stayed. Like, Faker should have defected somewhere. He didn't even make Worlds, and he's Faker.
He's missed Worlds as SKT before.
It doesn't matter. He shouldn't do it more than once. The best player in the world, quote unquote, should not be missing Worlds. Like, he didn't even make, like, the play-ins. Like, he didn't, like...
He missed Worlds.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you said didn't make the play-ins. That wasn't an option. Korea doesn't sound someone to the play-ins.
Oh, okay,
or
never
they
mind.
didn't.
Yeah. I forget how the tiering works. Doesn't matter.
No, they missed Worlds. You are correct. And they were, like, middling. Like, it was weird because, like, they were bad, and then they were good, and they were middle. Like, they went up and down all last season. So they're returning Khan, amazing top laner. Their junglers are Haru
Alan,
and
I will
Clid.
stab you. I will find you and stab you if that happens.
What?
It'd be funny if Echo Fox wins Worlds in the end.
Oh my god!
Alan, I will come after you with a vengeance.
Finishes 10th again, but like Echo Fox is like top team.
I'm gonna have to burn one of these hats. I don't know which one.
Okay, but let's see. They're running Haru in probably starting Haru jungle, Khan top, Faker mid. I don't know Leo and Teddy. I have no idea.
Because they lost. They're two good bot lane players. Well,
yeah,
quote unquote good because they weren't great.
They're both new. Haru is new also. I've heard of him before. Khan's good. Effort and then Mata in support. They're both still good. I think Mata will not be starting though. I think Effort's probably going to take that spot. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't really follow the LCK like. Teddy's insane. Okay, I feel like I knew one of them.
I said, like, if they don't make it to Worlds, I don't go out of my way to watch their matches.
Is Mata still is he the best on his own? Because I always thought he was matched up well, and like, not that like he's bad and like his AD carry carried him, but I thought Mata was good with that specific player. Kind of like Mithy was really good with Sven. Of course they went to NA and that kind of fell apart, but I kind of saw Mata that way myself. Oh, Teddy was Janair's. Okay, that's why I've heard of him. Yeah, he kept them decent spot in the table too. Teddy and Mata, I think they kind of did what Liquid did last year then, except not starting from the very bottom. They pulled in some new players to make themselves much better. The thing is, you never know what's going to happen in the LCK. And there was 2 incoming teams in the LCK that are supposed to be, like, disgustingly good. Like, the teams who were in the semifinals for Worlds were scrimming against these new teams incoming into the LCK and said they were just getting dumpstered by them.
That's not great.
Like, granted, part of that has to do with, like, the exhaustion of you've been playing, not only your season, but then your playoff, then you boot camped, then you're playing, Worlds group stage, and then you're playing in the playoffs. Like, it builds up, whereas these teams were just like fresh, and relaxed and at home and all that stuff. But still, like they said, like these incoming teams were stupid good. I want to look up what those teams are. Like, let's see if I can find LCK. But yeah, like that's the thing. You never know what's gonna happen. It's just like when Kingzone Dragon X came in. Like you get these teams that just show up and are so good in the LCK. Was it Damwon, I think, is one of... Oh, yeah, and Griffin was another team that came up out of nowhere previously. It's Damwon, and the other one's like Comics or something, but they must have changed names? Oh, no, this is... Yeah, these are the new teams. And Damwon went 2-0. Sandbox possibly was that other one? Because they're also 2-0. No, they played in the Kespa Cup, so it wouldn't be them. Do any of you guys know what that other team is? Hanwha Life? I don't recognize that team name either. Hanwha Life. Okay, they played in LCK, so maybe it is that box team. Okay. Oh yeah, Rocks Tigers. That's another team that came out of nowhere, and that happens in the LCK all the time. So you just never know. I'd say like SKT, like they've got a new roster. They can look really good, especially with Faker having a great bot lane set up. Damwon and Griffin are sick. Yeah, well, and Griffin was already around, so I think it is SKT brought in the talent they need to make a run back at the top of the table there in the LCK. The thing is, though, in the LCK, the talent's so deep, you just never know. There's always some team that just fucking does it, and while nobody becomes the new Faker, like, Khan's amazing, Mata's amazing, like, Teddy might be, like, the next one you learn. Like, you learn all these new players, but nobody ever becomes Faker, because Faker was so transcendent. He dominated the sport before there was the depth that there currently is. Like, if you thought that, there was some depth back then, which there really wasn't, he was, just this player who was just so much fucking better than everybody. He was Wilt Chamberlain when it was like, oh man, this guy's really good. Like, Wilt Chamberlain could have played the game 10, 20 years later than he did and still been good. And the players he played weren't as good as the rest of the league was 10 and 20 years later. So he just shit down everybody's throat. And that's what Faker was. Like, Faker's like, oh shit, okay, no, this is what players will be in 3 years. And they are now. But he's been that forever. So it's like, okay. And I don't know if Faker's ever going to regain that kind of elevated status. Like, he's always going to be a legend. He's always going to be Faker.
Well, he set the ceiling. Everyone else has just been trying to get up to where he is.
And I think there are players who are there now.
Sure.
It's just the matter of, like, well, they can't be him because unless they're that far above him, they're not the same as he was.
Well,
you know?
I mean, it's trying to, like, compare, like, XYZ to Babe Ruth. Like, Babe,
exactly.
It's like, do you know any other baseball players that were exceptionally well, like, around that time?
Yes, but...
Damn it. I don't.
Right. No, and that's the thing, though. Like, the players who you still know from decades ago in sports are because they were just that much better than everybody else. That's the reason you will always know who Michael Jordan was.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, I went really old because I couldn't honestly name you 3 other players. I couldn't even probably name you 2 other players.
Right. Well, it's like, I mean, if I said Jackie Robinson or Lou Gehrig or, you know, like, if I name those players, you're like, fuck yeah, I know those. But if I'm like, can you name me 9 players? You'd be like, no. It's like, well, of course you can't because nobody else was so above everybody else at that time. And, like, Babe Ruth was by far the best slugger for decades. Like, his record stood for a long fucking time.
It took steroids to break it.
Well, no, those other people's records, but still. Yeah, like, it's just gross. And so, like, that's... Yeah, and Faker's amazing. He is still one of the best players in the world. But he doesn't outclass... Like, he's no longer S tier and everybody else is B tier. Like, because that's what it was when he came on the field. It was just like, what the fuck is this kid? Holy shit. He's a robot who played a video game.
Yeah, so Faker actually surprises me that he hasn't tried to swap teams. Like, there are so many other teams that would probably pay him more than he makes now. Guaranteed. Unless
you say guaranteed, I don't know.
Like, do you think he makes an absurd amount of money still?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He could make more if he came to North America? Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, maybe not even North America. Like, what if he went to the LEC or something like that? Like,
maybe.
Because I know that the money is in NA, but, yes. Like, followed
or China.
pretty... Oh, okay.
China has a shit ton of money, too.
Okay. So...
But I think with Faker, like, one, he's paid
and
a lot.
even if he went to China, that's much closer to home from him than it would be to fly halfway across the world to play in NA.
Correct, yeah. I think for him, I mean, he's like a lot of the greats in their sports who are ahead of their time are, where they're dedicated to a team.
Sure.
Jordan didn't bounce around teams. Babe Ruth was traded by the Red Sox to the Yankees and then played out the rest of his career there. You know, like, I'm sure people wanted to buy him from the Yankees and never could.
Sure.
And you know, like, you have that. I mean, one of the exceptions to that sports-wise is soccer. Like, everybody gets fucking traded around between leagues even in soccer.
Well, that's what happens when, like, there's 40 people on the field at one time. It's like, I know fucking 3 football players total, and one of them's Beckham's wife. Like, she's fucking, like, singing some Spice Girl shit for everyone.
The thing with soccer is that there's multiple major leagues, which you have in esports too, but it's like, there's the Premiership in England, there's the Bundesliga in Germany, there's La Liga in Italy, you know, like, you have all these different leagues, so of course, like, they get traded between these leagues because there's money in all of them, kind of, some more than others, just like China, Korea, NA are where the money is. Mostly China and NA, like, because NA will overspend on somebody.
Yeah, as we saw last year.
With Hooney, yeah, absolutely. Him and his beautiful car. Jordan played for the Wizards later on when he was
after he retired, then came back.
And it was when he was a part owner or or coach or something.
Yeah, it makes a difference there because it was retired. He played baseball for a while, and then he came back to play for the Wizards.
No, he came back to the Bulls after baseball. Still,
he
played baseball for 1 season and then came back to the Bulls. That's when Space Jam happens.
Yeah.
So he left the Bulls to save the world with the Looney Tunes, and then he came back to basketball. That's what happened.
That makes sense.
Baseball was a cover.
Fucking, so we had a Michael Jordan clone? Is that why he wasn't as good at baseball as he was basketball?
No, it's because baseball's a different sport.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah. No, like, but you see that with these teams. I think that Faker has this commitment to SKT. I think also as a player who makes money off of who he is, I think being part of the same team is helpful in that venue. But I also do think SKT pays him a lot.
It's really surprising, though, that SKT wouldn't spend the money to try to put really good players next to him.
They just did, though. Like, that's what we were talking about.
They did, okay. They did just now, but, like...
They always have been. It just doesn't always work out. Like, often, if you go through, like, the history of super teams in the major leagues of League of Legends, it actually usually blows up really badly.
I can see that.
Like, well, because KT Rolster was supposed to be a super team, not so much last year as the year before.
Alright, so I'm going to need the pen. Team Liquid's going to number 10.
Yeah, and that's actually, I was going to say that, is like, usually it doesn't work out. So it's kind of scary. Like, Liquid and G2 are both super teams right now.
Yeah.
And it's curious to see. Well, and G2, I feel, is, like, precarious, because not only are they a super team, but they're a super team rocking double mid laners. Like, Perks moved to the bot lane. He played Zoe in Game 1 and Kai'Sa in Game 2. He hasn't played a traditional marksman, like, who's just a marksman yet. I mean, granted, it's 2 games in. But still, are they going to, like, bust out everything that's not, like, Caitlyn as long as they can? Because that'd be fantastic to watch. Honestly, I would love it, because all the people who bitch about AD carry and, like, whether it feels good or bad or whatever, it's like, non-stop, they're like, well, it's really weak right now. Except it's still like a required role. If G2 can show that if you have 2 world-class mid laners, which, okay, that you're obviously past the norm here, but if they can show that, like, no, if you have 2 really good mid laners and just play mages in both roles, like, that you don't need a marksman, if they can do that, then and only then do you have a case that AD carries underpowered.
Sure.
Because until a marksman isn't needed on a comp, it's still appropriately powered. Because no other role is absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Like your support can be like a CC based one, or a sustain based one, or like you can do like different things in all the other roles except marksman. It's like, no, they have to be a marksman.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, I saw that lineup and I was like, okay, this is crazy. But yeah, if they can take a player as good as Perks and shove him into the bot lane and he can perform as well as he did, it's like, I want to see that more.
That team's going to be so fun to watch as the season goes on. Absolutely.
Which is really sad that they're in the LCS. Because
LEC.
That's what I said, yeah. LEC.
You just said LCS, like, more drawn out.
Slurring my LCS.
Yeah.
LEC. Okay.
Who from NA do you think is going to be fun to watch? Who in the LCS are teams to keep an eye on? And I want everybody's input too. Like, what are the teams that you want to keep an eye on either because you're unsure of them, because you think they're going to be awesome, or because it's a dumpster fire and you love watching shit explode? Because, like, now Chase wants to say Echo Fox because of that last bit.
I was, yeah.
Like, you giggled while looking at it.
Because it's so frustrating, like, seeing Phoenix back and in an import slot. But then, like, Rush, like, I don't know Rush personally, but, like, everyone else was, like, super, like, on board with,
he's so likable.
Yeah, like, with, Nice Boy or...
He's like anybody else who joins Cloud9. He immediately becomes the goofiest, most lovable memer in the world. And like, that's why, like, when they have imports, they learn English and memes. It was, like, top die with Impact. He, like, rushes that. Where you're just like, oh, I love him. And he's a really nice dude. So, yeah.
Like I said, I think I'm gonna follow Clutch as, like, my number 2 team. Because I want to see Huni do better this year. It seems like every week Huni was sick. It was like, Huni couldn't practice with the team this week because he was sick. Oh, what happened? Yeah. Echo Fox lost.
He did end the season being, like, ill the whole time.
It's like, okay, we'll fucking figure out your immune system, and then the Demonte is with him still. I
agree. I want to watch Clutch. I want to watch Clutch for the same reasons you do. Huni and Demonte. Mostly Demonte, personally. I want to watch Echo Fox. I think the most gratifying thing that could possibly happen is, like, Phoenix and Rush are fantastic, but the team as a whole sucks. And so then they both, like, can go elsewhere and make a bunch of money.
Sure.
Like, I don't expect Phoenix to be good, honestly. I'm curious to see TL, to see if the super team works or not. And then, like, I'm really unsure, Golden Guardians, all the way. I'm so curious to see what happens with Golden Guardians. And then from a coaching standpoint, TSM. Like, I mean, I talked about it. I want to see if Zix comes in there and goes, okay, we're going to have you play what you're actually good at. And what's good for the team. Not what you think is good, no, just fucking shut up and you're going to play what I tell you to play. And it'll be like, hey, Grig, play Gragas. And he'll be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to play Gragas. Like, if I see Zix put Grig on Sejuani, I will just, like, throw something and write them off for the season.
So much salt. Alan wants to see TSM go down in flames.
No, it's funny because I don't like TSM. Mostly because I hate Reginald. He's such an asshole. Apparently he's, like, super nice and friendly to fans and everybody, but, like, as a team person, he's a dick. And so I dislike him. And, like, I never feel bad when TSM loses, especially because I have, like, friends who are like, oh, TSM, and then when this last season, they missed Worlds, they missed both finals, like, it was really satisfying. Especially because my team was the one knocking them the fuck out. But I like Zix a lot. I really like Zix. And so I want to see him succeed. So I'm, like, conflicted. So I'm going to be okay either way TSM goes, but I think the most satisfying thing for me would be if Zix has them play things they should be playing for a couple weeks, and they win, and then you can tell slowly, like, Reginald or somebody gets involved, and they start playing the other stupid shit, and they start losing, and then Zix quits, and then they, like, burn, and they just, like, fall to the bottom of the standings, and Golden Guardians gets the playoff spot. That would be the most gratifying play of this season.
So, my spiteful team that I want to watch and see fail this year is going to be 100 Thieves.
Oh, I thought you wanted Fox to fail super bad.
No,
Or both of them, maybe.
No, Fox really pissed me off, but, like, it's 100 Thieves that I kind of want to see dumpster this year.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, I have issues with them, too, on multiple levels. Well, I think they have a lot of potential with Someday and then Bang down in the bot lane, and I think Onda's decent. I just don't know who he's going to bring enough to the mid lane, and I don't know that I like Afro.
Have you been reading the bottoms?
No, I haven't. Stuck in Brewery, don't send help.
That was probably one of the better ones.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them are repeats.
Lame. That one is good, though. Stuck in Brewery, don't send help. Yeah, I think there will be interesting stories in NA. The problem is right now we don't know what they are, because the story right now is just like so many roster changes.
So much chaos.
I'm still shocked at how much roster upheaval there was.
Yeah, no.
Like, going into the offseason, I was like, okay, this team needs to change one, maybe two things for most of them. And then I was like, okay, Golden Guardians, Optic, and FlyQuest need an overhaul.
Yeah, like, it was basically once a day that I was, like, messaging you, texting you, like, what the fuck is happening here? Why are they leaving? Why did they get picked up over here? What the fuck is happening?
I told Chase as we headed into the offseason that I take a break from League. I've played 2 normal games since offseason started, and I've played 2 ARAMs and 2 Nexus Splits. Like, I don't touch League, I don't read about it, like, I leave it the fuck alone. And he kept bugging me, I'm like, come back to me in a month and a half when I give a shit. I'm like, wait until, because he's like, oh my god, this happened today. I'm like, none of this matters until all of it's happened, and then we can look at, like, the final result. Because until then, it was just like, Echo Fox, like, lost half of their players, and then, like, the next day, it's like, Clutch picked up half of those players. And then it's like, Echo Fox lost the other half of their players, like, the next day. And then it's like, wait, Echo Fox picked up some of the players Clutch got rid of. What's going on? It's just chaos.
It's like they dropped all their good players and they picked up Clutch's bad players. I was like, oh god, this is gonna be bad.
Alright, so we have our expected, like, winners and losers. Dark Horse to win it all. Dark Horse to, like, just burn out of like, the team that you don't you expect them to be middle or something, but it's possible they just end up in 10th.
Oh, what? Oh, the other way. I thought
they're your Dark Horse to win.
Yeah, like,
okay.
Like, I'd be like, if they could make, like, 2, like, I don't see them winning, but, like, if they get 2-3, I'd be like, oh, the fuck is happening?
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that fully. Like, I have them as number 7. I think they're that bubble for playoffs.
You're a whore.
That they're the bubble for playoffs. They're the 6-7 slot, but they absolutely have a chance at being dark horse for like a top 3. I think that roster, Hanser, Contracts, Froggen, Deftly, Ole, like that's not a bad roster. Mostly hinging on if Froggen's still good and if that allows Contracts and Deftly to be as good as we think they might.
It's gonna make me really sad if they come out the gate 0-2. Like.
What are their plays though? They play Echo Fox and FlyQuest. You're right.
Last year I would have been like, fucking Echo Fox is gonna crush him. This year I'm like, Echo Fox is gonna probably get crushed.
You're right. If they go 0-2 against FlyQuest and Echo Fox, that's not a good start. That is not a good sign. It's not great. Yeah, I think Golden Guardians.
If
Ducks agree.
If Golden Guardians 2-0s this week, I will be buying the first jersey they release.
CLG also a good dark horse. I totally agree with that. I wonder if Michael has one as well. Because I think the Golden Guardians and CLG I think stand out as like the dark horses where they're middle of the pack and they could be really really good. Just look at
I can see that. I've got them in my number 9 slot just mostly because I didn't know where else to shove them.
Right. I think the bottom got really cluttered there.
Yeah.
Like the last 4 spots are like. And then let's see. So what's the team who should be good and might just shit the bed?
Well, I've already marked them down as shitting the bed. I put 100 Thieves.
Like, I mean, finish bottom 3. Because, dark horse is, might finish top 3. Top 3, this would be, finished bottom 3.
Again, 100 Thieves.
You think 100 Thieves...
So Alan and, a couple other people said, they see 100 Thieves, top 3. And I threw them down at 6. I think it's very possible that they could finish top 3, or it's...
8, 9, 10?
Yeah.
I don't think they can fall that hard. I think there's too many bad teams.
You're not wrong. I don't think it's realistic. I'm just saying, if I'm going to have a team that I think that could potentially, completely shit the bed, I think it could be them. I
think my team that could shit the bed... I don't think TSM can fail that hard. I see Optic is too low and FlyQuest too low to start with. I think Clutch, because hear me out. They have Hooney, they have Damonte.
You think they could shit the bed and go all the way
right? Piglet, 7, Vulcan, Lyra feel
8, 9, 10.
Piglet and Lyra have been really good before. Vulcan we haven't seen, but those guys are all kind of big question marks. And Hooney's been very 50-50 at times. They could end up 8-9 easy, I think.
I don't think it's impossible.
So I see them as my potential shit in the bed is Clutch. They should be good, but they could be terrible. I wrote
number 3 next to them, so I should
4.
Probably agree with you on that.
Yeah, I put them as number 4, but I could totally see them just being a dumpster fire.
Where did you put 100 Thieves? 3?
3.
Yeah, I threw them down at 6, so...
Yeah, you had them way lower than everyone else.
Fuck them. Fuck them all.
Let's see. TSM, Echo Fox, Clutch could also shit the bed. Yeah, no, I feel like TSM won't. Because that was my initial thought is that's where I wanted to go. But I think Bjergsen, Sven, Smoothie, that trio is good enough that they'll end up playoff viable, no matter what.
I would be very surprised if TSM missed playoffs, which means that they'll miss playoffs.
I would be a little surprised, not very. And what else was it? It was TSM, Echo. Yeah, Echo. I mean, I assume Echo Fox isn't shitting the bed. They're assumed to be bad, I believe. I mean, Lorlo, Rush, Phoenix, Apollo, Hakuho, Solo possibly at the top instead of Lorlo. Rush is the standout player of that team. Right? By a long shot.
Yeah. Well,
that's not saying a whole lot. At least Optic is rocking Crown and Meteos. The standout players on Golden Guardians, Frog and Ole, Hanser, and then maybe Contracts and Deftly. Everybody else has somebody. FlyQuest has Pole Belter and Wild Turtle. Everybody is better than Lorlo, Rush, Phoenix, Apollo, Hakuho. That is the most underwhelming group of 5 names you could possibly have.
Yeah, I think I fell asleep while you were reading them to me.
Right? Yeah.
No, okay, so Alan says 100 Thieves, they got upgrades. 100 Thieves did get upgrades, but...
Agreed.
I don't think He is still great. Bang might be a big name. We decided Bang did not win Worlds. Is that what the outcome of that...
Is Huni had not won Worlds.
Oh, Bang did win Worlds,
Bang
but
has,
Huni
yes.
did not. Okay.
Bang was on a Faker team.
So it's very possible, like, 100 Thieves...
Oh, no, he was on the
100 Thieves
team.
looks like they could do well... But I think they're going to do the same thing that fucking Echo Fox did last year. It's like, oh, we've got Huni and Dardock. And...
They have all the potential and piss it down their leg.
Exactly.
I mean, if they don't shed half of their roster right before this
considering
end
how poorly they were managed last year.
They were.
Like, and that's like my other, like, overarching reasons why, like, I don't think they're going to do well.
No, that's my fear for them, too, is that, like I said it earlier, I'm not sure that Afromu isn't the issue. And so, what if he's the issue again, do they lose?
I pulled the reins in on, like, feeling like Afromu was the problem. But overall, like, just how mismanaged they were, it's very sad.
Yeah, no, I mean, ending up with Rikara starting, like, they went to Worlds and were just, like, pathetic. It was really bad. Let's see, Cloud9 might finish low. I think Jensen was really important to them. That's not a bad point. That's my worry with them, too. I think 2, I'm being a little... I have them at number 2, and I have them... I think there's being a little hopeful that Niski's going to fit in well. But I do feel the fact that they have Golden Glue as a backup gives me some comfort. That they're definitely a playoff team, because you got at least Golden Glue, who showed up really well last year. If he shows up as well this year as he did last year, if he's needed, I think they're fine. They're a playoff team. And you definitely have Licorice, Sneaky, and Zazel. You have 3 players that most teams would be ecstatic to have. Like, who doesn't want Sneaky? Well, I mean, we have Double Lift. Okay. Who doesn't want Zazel? We have Smoothie. We have... I don't know. Who else would you not swap out? Yeah, Ole maybe? Core JJ. Like,
well, they just brought in Core JJ. I'm sure they're not going to trade them before the season
Well, no,
starts.
but I'm saying, like, Sneaky and Zazel are better than all but, like, 1 or 2 other players in their role. Same goes for Licorice. Like, what, you maybe want to take a... You would maybe want Impact, maybe...
Huni?
Maybe Huni, maybe, depending on how he comes in, and Someday.
Yeah.
Like, so many of their players are at least top 4. Those 3, for sure. And then the jungle, you can question. So I feel like even if Niski doesn't turn out, the rest of the team's so good that it's not going to be a huge deal. Like, they won't get 2, but they'll get 5th. I think they get 5th with Golden Glue, even if Niski shits the bed.
I'm really sad that I just realized that Cloud9's logo is literally a cloud icon made out of 9s.
Oh no, you've been doing this for like a year and a half and you just realized it?
I did just realize it. I'm apparently at the appropriate level of drunk where I was like, those all look like 9s, and it's a cloud.
That's why their logo is so good.
That's really, really depressing for me right now.
They have such a good logo. You just thought it was a cloud before now, or you just thought it was a shape?
I just thought it was like, oh, that's like a cool stylized cloud.
Okay, yes. But it is also 9s, you're correct.
Now I feel really bad
Cloud9
about
had the
myself.
least amount of turnover. Yep, no, I agree. It's a matter of Niski. Take Afromu and Zazel. Oh, Afromu over Zazel. I think that's possible too. So I mean, but still, that puts Zazel probably top 4 support.
Yeah, so assuming that...
Apollo and Hakuho are better than people give them credit for. I agree with that.
I don't disagree with that.
I think the issues on Clutch were because Lyra was terrible. And I don't know if it's because Febivin and Solo and the way the team was coached and managed didn't work out, but I never thought Apollo and Hakuho were the issue, even when they were taken out for that week. And, like, the subs did so much worse. So, actually, it was Vulcan and somebody else, wasn't it? Or was it Vulcan and Piglet played 1 week? That might have been it, because I think it was Apollo and Hakuho were benched 1 week. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? They're not the issue.
Let me see if I can find in my notes.
Oh, man.
Piglet played 7/30/18, so that was week 6.
We'll pull it up. Alan's saying yeah. And so does Duck. So Halder and Alan both agree. Yeah, it was Piglet and Vulcan played that.
Vulcan played 7:30.
And they got their shit kicked, didn't they?
Yeah.
They lost both matches, or did they only play 1?
Hold on.
We gotta look up these stats.
So
we need a stats team.
100 Thieves won over Clutch on appears day 1.
Okay.
Day 2.
This is week 7, so before Ricard was playing.
Team Liquid played Clutch, so Team Liquid destroyed
Pooped on
them.
them. Yeah. And, okay, so they didn't go up against bad teams, but...
So against Team Liquid, they only went 7-2, so that's not terrible. Let's see about...
What was the time on that match? I know you usually track that.
27 minutes.
No, that's why it was so low, is because they got shit wrecked.
Okay, so day 1...
27 minutes. Oh, God.
Day 1 against 100 Thieves.
Twitch chat is our stats team, you're
57 minutes 4 seconds, it went 17-12, Clutch won. Or, wait, 100 Thieves won.
It went 57 minutes?
Yeah, so my notes were Clutch made a couple of decent plays early on, but this was primarily a 100 Thieves game.
Okay, so it was 100 Thieves got behind the 8 ball and then stalled it out, which they were really, really good at doing. 100 Thieves was great at taking it to the late game. But yeah, no, I don't know. Piglet and Vulcan, I mean, they only showed that 1 week, but my opinion back then, it still was that Lyra wasn't great. But maybe now with Huni and Demonte around him, maybe he'll show up and be like he was on Envy, where he was really good.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I think that's all I've got. Twitch chat, do you have anything to add, to discuss, or Chase, while we were waiting for Twitch chat, see if they have anything to add in?
So it was the Cloud9 logo this way that caught my eye.
Oh, it had to be sideways? Oh, because then there was a 9 right side up?
Yeah.
You know, the middle one's right side up normally. It's just that it has a short leg.
Yeah, well, it's got the short leg, and it just looks more like,
it's surrounded,
the head of a clown. Yeah.
Of a clown?
A clown.
Oh,
a cloud. God damn it.
Looks like a fucking clown? That's scary.
Home today? Jesus
No,
Christ.
you're only on your 4th.
Jesus Christ, my life is in shambles.
Well, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I guess you were tired all day. It doesn't seem like Twitch chat has anything to add. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you, unless you come in with something here in a little bit. Thank you for joining us today. First episode of Season 3 of League of Loggers. We'll be back every Monday throughout the season.
Potentially Tuesdays, depending on how schedules work out for our weekend travels and whatnot. But
yeah, absolutely.
We will definitely try to make Mondays work. Tuesdays will be our fallback.
I will be landing on February 4th, and we will still be doing it that night. So hopefully I will have watched the VODs on the plane. God, I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll be doing this on Mondays. We're going to try and get a schedule up here on the Twitch page. I'm going to be uploading these VODs to YouTube, and I'll be linking those on YetiGamer.com. Also, if you don't already watch Smash Den, if you are a fan of Smash Brothers, we do a amateur Smash Brothers Ultimate Tournament every month, usually the first Saturday. The next one will be on the 9th of February, actually. So we stream that. That's great. We need a whiteboard or a TV screen behind you. We've got these little ones, and I used to pop them up, but I need something better. You're right. And then we also have another show in the works. It's going to be a bi-weekly show every other week, coming to YetiGamer.com, the YetiGamer official stream. And you should hear about that here in the next coming weeks, and hopefully premiering in the next, I don't know, maybe month and a half.
Hopefully month or...
Yeah, I think month is probably what we're shooting for. So yeah, we're going to get schedules up below here on the
Yeah, we're going to revamp the page. It turns out our page is garbage. Jesus Christ, I don't know why we've got people watching this. I look at these panels, I'm like, we're garbage. So we're going to fix that. We're going to try to be less garbage, be a little bit more professional, try to make it look great. So
yeah. All right, well, anyway, thank you for watching, and we will catch you guys next Monday. Until then,
peace,
cheers.
love, chicken grease.
Never say that again. God damn it. I'll kick you off the show and do it alone.
As
Cheers.
you should.